Well, it finally stopped raining here in Boston, and a big crowd is expected at Fenway Park, and the number 6 will be on their mind. Why? Because Johnny Pesky is going to have his number retired, but for the Yankees, number 20 is much more important this afternoon. As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox in the first game of a day-night doubleheader from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts.
Our guys really want it for him, and I really want it for him, and it's an amazing feat if he's able to accomplish that. And even what he's done up to this point is amazing. 19 wins. He's had a tremendous year, but you might as well just put the cherry on top.
And that's what the Yankees will try to do, put the cherry on top today for Mike Messina. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday's game was rained out, and really no one, Yankees Red Sox, wants to play a day-night doubleheader, but that's exactly what they're doing. First game at 1:30, second game at 7:30. But the Yankees are into the first game because of Mike Messina. And if you look at his resume, Mike Messina has only one thing missing, well, really two, a World Series ring and the 20th win in one season. 18th big league season, 269 career wins, 5-time All-Star, 6 Gold Gloves, and he's had 10 or more wins in 17 straight seasons, which is an American League record. 3 times he's won 19. He never got the magic 20. And if he pitches today like he's pitched in the previous 2, Kenny, he's got a good chance.
Certainly will, Michael. He's pitched very well against Toronto and then against the White Sox. Against Toronto, 6 innings. He was hit by a line drive in this particular ball game. Did not knock him out of the game. He went on to pick up the win, and for a while there, it got a little iffy if he was going to stay in. And against the White Sox at Yankee Stadium, another victory for Mike Messina. He's given up 1 run in his last 11 innings pitch, and a wave to the crowd, maybe for the last time. There is talk that he's going to retire after this season.
Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Mike Messina goes for the Yankees. We told you his story. Daisuke Matsuzaka, look at that record, 18-2 with a 2.80 ERA. Mike Messina has had a great run in pinstripes. He's reached a lot of big moments, made a lot of big plays, 200 wins, 2,000 strikeouts. He needs one more. Another one with a 2-0 in it, 20 wins. Does that come next? We'll be back. Anyway, it looks like they finally found a window without rain splashing up against it, and looks like they're going to have baseball. It's going to be a little difficult, I would say, Kenny, for Matsuzaka and Messina. They both warmed up once before and had to sit down, and I'm sure nobody really likes this scenario right here. These games don't mean anything except for Mike Messina, who's going for his 20th win. I think that will motivate the Yankees. I think the Red Sox motivation, Kenny, is to not have anybody get hurt.
And not anybody get hurt, and maybe get Matsuzaka tuned up for the playoffs. And, you know, I would be surprised if he went much more than 5 innings in today's game. Maybe a chance to get a decision. It's not like he's going for number 20, number 19, and number 20, 2 different things. But Matsuzaka's had a pretty good year. What is he? 18-2.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, Terry Francona knows that this game is being played. You have to complete the 162-game schedule. And the reason that is a day-night doubleheader is that the Red Sox are always sold out, and they don't want to give up that money. And, you know, it's hard to argue with that. That's exactly the deal. So that's why they have a day-night doubleheader scenario where the second game is going to be at 7:30. So the Yankees thought that they would be leaving Fenway Park at about 4:30, 5 o'clock this afternoon. They'll probably be leaving around midnight because there's intermittent showers throughout the day. Jason Giambi probably thinking, hey, is this my last day as a New York Yankee? You never know. Yankees hold an option on him. He said that he would love to come back, but the Yankees have a lot of decisions to make. Hey, get the best in HD free with IO-TV, because everything about HD is better with IO, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball. Well, there will be a lot of question marks, Kenny, as the Yankees will try to see what they're going to do during the offseason. They have 4 significant, well, really 5 significant free agents with big money coming off the roster. Andy Pettitte, Mike Messina, tonight's starter, or today's starter, Jason Giambi, as we mentioned, Bobby Abreu, and Carl Pavano, and all of that adds up to about $85 million coming off the payroll. And you know the Yankees are going to pour that right back in and try to rebound next year.
Rebound next year, go out and look what's out on the market, and maybe make some moves during the course of the winter, and you know, try and get their pitching staff revamped somewhat so the Yankees could. You know, I think what has bothered the Yankees the last 2 years, getting off the slow starts. I mean, they have to get out of the gate a lot quicker. And this year, you combine that with the injury problems that the Yankees have had, it just didn't happen. There's Matsuzaka. Looks like he's ready to start pitching. His catcher today is Jason Varitek, and that's the battery for the Red Sox. Look like they're ready to go. So the Yankees, I think, it was good to see Chien-Ming Wang. He's on this trip. So, you know, he's rehabbing on the trip, and I didn't think I'd see him again until spring training, but he looked like he was walking around just fine.
Absolutely. So the Yankees know that they'll have an ace pitcher next year in Chien-Ming Wang, and we'll see who comes back, whether it be Messina or Pettit. And as you mentioned earlier, Kenny, a lot of rumors swirling around that this could be Mike Messina's last outing in the big leagues, and not that many people go out on top. The next best record to ever retire following a season like this would be Sandy Koufax back in the mid-60s. Very few people go out having won 19 or 20 games.
Well, Koufax was had forced to retire. As you look at the resume for the Moose, Mike Messina, 18 major league seasons, 10 with Baltimore, 8 with the Yankees, 269 career wins. If he wins today, he'll tie Hall of Famer Burley Grimes with 270 for 32nd place on the all-time list. 5-time All-Star, 6 Gold Gloves, 10 wins in 17 consecutive seasons. That's American League record. Oh, you were talking about Sandy Koufax. Koufax retired due to injury. He had an arthritic elbow. Of course, in this day and age, they probably would have been able to fix that. He would have been able to pitch and continue his career, but he went out with a record. I think he won 27 games.
27-9.
27-9 in 1966, and then and retired from the Dodgers.
He was one of only 4 pitchers to do that during the 1900s, Kenny. The others, Henry Schmidt, who was 23-13 for the 03 Dodgers. That's his only season in the majors. And a pair of pitchers from the Black Sox scandal who were banned from baseball after the 1920 season. Eddie Chicot and Lefty Williams. So right there, those 2 guys were gone because of circumstances beyond their control, or obviously control that they supposedly had. But Mike Messina is about to do something that not that many people have done, if he does in fact retire, but I don't think that's set in stone. And usually they say, Kenny, you need about a good 2-3 weeks to get away from it before you really make a decision.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, everybody at the end of the season has to, whether you're going to retire or not, they like to get away and just sort of sort things out, relax a little bit, give their bodies a chance to heal up somewhat. Everybody's got bumps and bruises at this time of the season, and I think it's a mental break as well. When you fitting 162 games into 180 days, that's a lot of work, a lot of travel around the country, a lot of airplanes and buses and trains or whatever. And now you just want to get that all out of your mind and relax for a while.
Hey, you can listen to Yankees baseball in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward. Joe Girardi has said that this is an important game. He wants to get Messina his 20th victory. So the Red Sox have taken the field, and Daisuke Matsuzaka about to begin his warm-ups. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Rico. Brett Gardner's in center field. He'll lead off. Batting second and playing left field, Johnny Damon. Bobby Abreu in right field, looking to score his 100th run to go along with 100 ribbies. He'll bat third. Batting cleanup and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Those are his numbers at Fenway Park. He needs a hit or 2 to stay over 300 for the season. Jason Giambi at first, needs 4 RBIs for 100. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing, needing 7 RBIs for 100 is Xavier Nady. Robinson Cano at second base will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Cody Ransom. Jeter will not play in either of these games today, and Jose Molina is going to catch, and he'll bat ninth.
Well, 28-year-old right-handed Daisuke Matsuzaka, whose last loss came July 28th against the Angels. And he's had a tremendous season. This will be his 29th start, 18-2. You can see less than a hit per inning, more than less, but 92 walks, 149 strikeouts. Here's our G pitcher scouting report. He is tough to hit. His .209 batting average against is the lowest in the league, but he can walk. He's got a lot of walks. 92 walks leads the American League, and escapability. The bases have been loaded against Daisuke Matsuzaka 14 times this year, and his opponents are 0 for 14. So he has the ability to get out of trouble.
Well, his defense has to help him out, especially if he puts so many runners on base. And let's take a look at the Red Sox defense. Bay, Ellsbury, and Drew. Drew is someone the Red Sox keep a close eye on. He's been bothered by lower back pain. Whether or not he's going to be able to play in the playoffs, they'll take a look today. In the infield, Youkilis, Lowry, Pedroia, and Kotze. Kotze making his first start at first base for the Red Sox. Fourth start, I'm sorry. Varitek is behind the plate. And Matsuzaka is on the mound. The umpires. Phil Cuzzi is the home plate umpire. Jim Wolf at first. Jerry Lane is at second. And Randy Marsh is over at third. Do we have a change of the first base umpire, Kenny?
Yeah, I think it's James Hoy, and Jim Wolf will be back for the second game and umpire behind home plate. I think that's James Hoy at first base.
Okay, so we will change that. And Matsuzaka's ready, so is Gardner. Let's do it here at Fenway Park. And there's a strike, and we are underway. Gardner's been hot of late. 8 for his last 18, 13 for his last 32. Still ominous clouds here at Fenway Park. And if you look at the famous Prudential building over the right field grandstand, the top of the Prudential building shrouded in clouds. You can't even see the word Prudential up there. And you can barely see the Hancock building, which is in Chicago. The 1-1. And the count 2-1.
Well, Gardner's closing the season in style. You can see his last 4 games, 444, but he's got an 8-game hitting streak coming into today. Starting to pick up the pace.
Grounded to first. Kotze will flip to Matsuzaka, and he beats Gardner there. 1 away.
Oh, Matsuzaka got off the mound in pretty good stead. He has to, and you can see Kotze. Kotze is a fine defensive outfielder. Been a good center fielder for years, but getting a chance to play first base today. Matsuzaka beats Gardner by about a step and a half, and here's Gardner out of the box. Looked like he slipped a little bit. You might see that from time to time. I mean, all kinds of rain here yesterday. Yesterday's game rained out. Not even a chance of playing it. I feel like we've been in Seattle in the wintertime the last 3 days.
Here's Johnny Damon. Down his line, down the right field line, giving chases. Drew, he dives, and he makes the play for the second out. Playing with a balky lower back. Drew tested right away and hauls it in.
Well, this is the sort of thing, if you have a bad back, it's not going to do any wonders for it. As he has to slide and come up with the catch, but it looks like Drew's going to be all right. The Red Sox are just trying to see if he'll be able to play in the playoffs. He hasn't played in quite a while. And you can see the sliding catch and how far he actually slid on the wet turf. And Daisuke, all pitchers love the defensive help.
Well, here's Bobby Abreu. Bobby has been on base in 26 straight games at Fenway Park. Hitting .297 overall. On Friday, picked up his 100th ribby. He has 99 runs scored. And he's taking all the way, and he takes a strike. And the 0-1. Fouled away.
It was nice that Bobby got that 100th RBI. Last year he got it on the last day of the season when he drove in 101 runs. 6 straight seasons with at least 100 runs batted in. But it'd be nice to get that 100th run. It looks nice on the resume. Years from now you're looking at your record, and once you're done you got 100 and 100 in one season. 100 runs scored, 100 runs batted in. Abreu making Daisuke work somewhat.
We'll be keeping an eye on all of the games with pennant race implications. The one in the Central in the American League, and obviously the East and the wild card in the National League. Right now, the Mets and the Marlins are a scoreless top of the third. The Cubs lead Milwaukee 1-0. CC Sabathia making his 3rd straight start on 3 days rest, bottom of the second. Kansas City and Minnesota scoreless, bottom of the second. And the Indians and the White Sox 1-1, bottom of the second. The 1-2. That game at Shea Stadium, the start of that game was delayed because of rain.
CC Sabathia going old school, huh?
Yeah.
That's the way pitchers all used to work on 3 days rest.
Well, that's what's happening at Shea with Oliver Perez yesterday. Johan Santana with a complete game effort on 3 days rest.
Shut it.
They won 2-0. And the 1-2. Strike 3. Abreu down looking. So the Yankees go down in order. against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Here's one of the reasons why. A nice sliding catch by J.D. Drew on Johnny Damon. Now it's time for Mike Mussina to try to win 20. Big game for Mike Mussina in many ways. Is it his final game in the big leagues? And he's also trying to win 20 games for the first time in a arguably Hall of Fame career. And he would be the oldest person to win 20 for the first time in Major League history. He's 39 years old. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup that he's going to face, presented by Rico. Pretty representative lineup. Ellsbury in center field leads off, batting second, and playing second, Dustin Pedroia. David Ortiz will DH. He's going to hit third. Does not have great numbers lifetime against Mussina. Kevin Youkilis, the third baseman, cleans up. Batting fifth, playing right field, J.D. Drew. Jason Basin left, Mark Kotsay at first. Jed Lowry, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Jason Varitek really has been struggling at the plate for about 3 months. He will catch. He'll bat ninth.
Well, Mike Mussina getting the start today, and you can see his numbers on the season. They're very good. More than a hit per inning. But look at the walks. Only 29 walks on 194 in the third inning. Should get to 200 innings today with a good outing. Here's our Jeep pitcher scouting report in command. He only walks at just over 1 batter per 9 innings. On the road again. It's a good song for Willie Nelson. It's been good for Mike Mussina this year. 8-2 on the road. And Burley Grimes, Hall of Fame right-hander. If Mike wins today, he'll tie him on the all-time list with 270 wins.
Here's Ellsbury. And there's a strike. And that has been the staple for Mike Mussina, that breaking ball that he lays in there on the first pitch.
We'll tell you a little bit about Burley Grimes as we go along here. He would have worked well on this weekend. In fact, Grimes ended up pitched for 7 teams, and he ended up pitching for the Yankees. And one reason why I said he worked well this week, with the precipitation in the air, he would have been a very good pitcher. He was the last legal spitball pitcher.
There's a ground ball to second base. Cano to Giambi, 1 away. Let's take a look at the entire Yankees defensive schematic. In the outfield, you've got Damon, Gardner, and Abreu. That's left to right. Infield, Rodriguez, Ransom making his 5th start at shortstop this year. Cano and then Giambi. Molina behind the plate. Mussina on the mound. Molina and Mussina have been a pretty good pairing as a battery for the Yankees this year. Here's Dustin Pedroia trailing the Twins' Joe Mauer in the American League batting race. Mauer hitting .330, Pedroia .325. And that number is going to go a little bit higher as he bangs one up the scoreboard. Damon gets the ball into second quickly, and Pedroia is out. Good play by Johnny Damon, and a nice tag by Robinson Cano.
Well, Pedroia trying to add to his league-leading total in 2 base hits. Johnny Damon played this pretty well coming off the wall. Got to it quickly and got it started back to second base in a hurry as well. Johnny not with the strongest arm, but it was accurate. And Pedroia is thrown out. He'll get a base hit, but he won't get a double. And he still has 54 doubles on the season. Thought he had 1 more to the total. Couldn't quite come up with double nickels as Cano's going to get the tag. Yeah, he is out by quite a bit.
Here's David Ortiz, and the pitch is upstairs, 1-0. Ortiz's numbers are down. He missed a lot of time because of the wrist injury. And there's a strike, count 1-1.
And he missed over a month, had wrist surgery. Still with 89 runs batted in. That's not too bad a season. Not what the Red Sox are accustomed to, but missed 45 games, about a quarter of the season.
And still has 89 ribbies.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And a strike. Count 2-2 to Ortiz.
Mike Mussina, multiple weapons, multiple speed changes, multiple arm angles. He's learned a lot over his years in the major leagues. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but his control was always pretty good. Now it's just exemplary.
popped up. Johnny Damon is there. It's going to be a 9-pitch inning for Mike Messina as he retires. The Red Sox essentially in order. He gave up a hit, but Johnny Damon erased Dustin Pedroia, trying for his 55th double. Good throw, good tag by Cano. No score as we go to the second. Number 6 will never be worn again, as Johnny Pesky's number was retired. Then he had the honor of throwing out the first pitch to David Ortiz, gave the underhand, but then Johnny does what he does so well. He hit a fungo, the first fungo of the game, to David Ortiz, and 89 years old yesterday, and this is his resume. 10 major league seasons as a player, 8 with the Red Sox, led the American League in hits 3 times, All-Star in 46. Look at that year, 335, 115 runs scored, and this is his 57th season with the Red Sox, his 40th in a row. No score, top of the second, and here's Alex Rodriguez against Matsuzaka. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Sky high. Home run in a silo. Lowry is there. And that'll do it 1 away.
I think the first time I ever heard that term was Harry Carey used it. Or he also said that wouldn't have been a home run in a phone booth.
Here's Jason Giambi at 96 runs batted in. Obviously, he'd love to get 4 in these 2 games today. That's why he's playing, a veteran playing in a game like this. And the Yankees have their representative lineup out of respect to Messina's bid for 20 wins. Derek Jeter's not playing because his wrist is bothering him. Otherwise, he would be in there as well. But Derek not being in there means that he's going to finish the season at 300, and it'll be the 10th season that he's finished with a 300 or better batting average. That's 3rd all-time among shortstops. All-time. Luke Appling did it from 1933 to 49, and Honus Wagner from 1903 to 1913. You see that left wrist is heavily wrapped, and he was hit by the Orioles' Jim Miller on Saturday, the penultimate game at Yankee Stadium. 1-1.
Remember early this year we were in Pittsburgh and at PNC Park, that beautiful stadium they've built along the banks of the Allegheny River, and there's a statue of Honus Wagner outside of PNC Park.
There's a strike, and the count 2-2.
In those days they thought that Ty Cobb was the best player in the American League and Honus Wagner the best in the National League.
Today's closed captioning brought to you by your New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Lexus dealers. And the 2-2 inside. 3-2. One thing that Matsuzaka does, if you watch Matsuzaka pitch this year, he will pitch around batters up, no problem loading the bases. He won't. He's not going to give anybody anything to hit, and he'll pick the batter that he prefers to go against in a big situation, which is a lot like the way El Duque used to pitch. Swing and a miss. Giambi down on strikes. He throws 17.3 pitches per inning.
That many pitches leads to elevated pitch counts early in ball game. A lot of movement on that pitch. What was it, 2-seamer? Giambi went to swing at it, and the ball kind of dove for the outside corner.
Here's Xavier Nady. 5 for his last 18, hitting .268 with the Yankees. But his numbers combined, he has 93 runs batted in between the Yankees and the Pirates. 36 with the Yanks.
And 24 home runs. He's had himself a very good season. He was hitting .330 in the National League when he got traded to the Yankees.
The 1-0. Tried to hold up, he could not. The count 1-1.
I say Matsuzaka with the extended windup. It kind of reminds you of Chin-Ming Wong's windup, where a lot of hesitation, slow movement. It's like they're gathering momentum before they deliver the pitch. You mentioned his last loss, July 28th against the Angels. Both his losses this year at Fenway Park. Has not lost on the road.
Good pitch, striking the outside corner right at the knees, 1-2.
Here's the windup. Hesitation, gathering momentum. And he can throw about 93, 94 miles an hour. He got a good fastball. He's a big hero for Japan in the World Baseball Classic a few years. Was it 3 years ago? Because every 4 years it's coming again next year. And certainly the Japanese team would like to have him back.
2-2.
That was 2 years ago. He went 3-0 in that competition.
Nine and 2 here at Fenway. Look at the road mark. 9-0, 2.37. And the 2-2. Breaking ball. High fly ball left field. Bay back on the track. We'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning as the Yankees are again retired in order. 6 up, 6 down against Daisuke Matsuzaka. We go to the bottom of the second inning. There's no score at Fenway Park. Today's Yankee Stadium moment sponsored by Mercedes. On April 18th, 1923, Yankee Stadium opened its doors for the first time. A crowd of over 74,000 were in attendance on that opening day, where they were treated to a Yankees 4-1 win over these very same Red Sox and watched Babe Ruth hit the first home run in the stadium's history. Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. Ominous clouds over Fenway Park as we go to the bottom of the second inning. And Euclid pops it up. Second baseman Cano is there, and there's one away.
Euclid, one pitch, one out, and of course the Babe hit the first home run. And Mike Messina's battery mate today. There's Babe with the Red Sox. Oh, look at that stroke. Great pitcher as well. He had the record for shutout innings in the World Series, consecutive shutout innings, until Whitey Ford broke it. And the catcher for the Yankees today hit the last home run in the history of Yankee Stadium. Mr. Molina.
So for those keeping score at home, Ruth hit the first.
Yeah.
Duke Sims hit the last in the old Yankee Stadium. The refurbished, the first was Disco Dan Ford.
Yeah.
And the last was Jose Molina. And the last hit at Yankee Stadium, Jason Giambi. A bloop single to short left that drove in a run. Count 1-1 to Drew. And the last Yankee batter at Yankee Stadium, appropriately enough, was the captain, Derek Jeter, the all-time hit leader at the stadium, tying it all together. There's a strike. The Red Sox are a little bit worried about Drew. He's been bothered by a sore lower back. He's had a lot of tests. He spent yesterday the entire day at Massachusetts General Hospital just getting all these tests done to see exactly what was wrong. And they keep trying to run him out there, see if the back holds up. He has been a very important part of the Red Sox action in the postseason. Last year he had a great postseason.
Well, he really stepped up in the month of June when Big Papi went on the disabled list and David Ortiz was out. J.D. Drew hit 12 home runs in the month of June. 12 of his 19 in 1 month.
This is just his second game, Kenny, since August 17th.
Yeah. And
they're uncertain about Drew, and they're really worried about Mike Lowell, because when he played on Friday, he hurt himself again when he took a swing, and he felt something in his hip, and that's been bothering him for a while. They're not sure if he's going to be on the postseason roster. Check swing, and the third base umpire, Randy Morris, said he did not go, so Drew works a walk.
Molina trying to get the appeal at third base, and let's see if that was close, but you know, the other day they weren't calling the call third strikes. There is Mike Lowell, who has a hip problem. We've had him on the DL for a while now. The other night, Friday night, he took a swing, flied out, ran gingerly down to first, and came out of the ball game, and he was the DH that night.
Here's Jason Bay. Count 1-0.
Bay has been to the Red Sox what Xavier Nady has been to the Yankees. both leaving the Pirates and coming to the American League East.
And Bay came here as part of the three-way deal, sending Manny Ramirez to the Dodgers. And Red Sox have been great since Bay got here. And you know what? Manny Ramirez turned the Dodgers around and got him into the postseason. There's a strike.
And Nady's hit 11 home runs with the Yankees. Bay's hit 9 with the Red Sox. And Bay has 31 home runs overall. He hit 22 in Pittsburgh.
And Bay swings and misses.
Messina working very quickly this afternoon. A good sharp breaking ball and the swing and a miss by Jason Bay for out number 2. Looks like Mike knows the weather report around here. He's working very fast.
Kotze lost one down the left field line. Damon runs out of room.
He actually leaped into the wall. You can see the padding along the wall there as Johnny gets up. And oh, that youngster. Watch the youngster back out of the picture. I don't know if he got himself a souvenir or not. Does he have the ball? Yeah, all right. Another satisfied customer. Got a baseball and got to see Johnny Damon up close.
Driven out the same spot again. Does the kid get 2? No, it's a little behind him this time.
Years ago, I did a game at Dodger Stadium, and there was a fan behind home plate got 3 foul balls. Same guy.
See, that's just gluttony. Grounded up the middle. Cano flips to Ransom, and that's going to do it here in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 2. There's no score at Fenway.
Well, fans, today after the post game, don't miss the show that's been making headlines as longtime Yankee catcher Jorge Posada sits down with Michael Kay for an all-new GMC Presents Center Stage. It's a candid conversation as Posada discusses his tenure with the Yankees, including his views on the current state of the team and what's in store for next year. It's an all-new Center Stage featuring Jorge Posada today after the post game. Only on Yes. Jorge Posada and Michael Kay. Only on Yes.
Boy, that guy looks just like Brett Gardner, huh? Sitting in the stands. Robinson Cano lines one down the right field line. It is a base hit. Cutting over is J.D. Drew as Cano gets himself a double. And since his benching, Cano is now 15 for 38.
Well, on Friday night, he had 3 hits, including a couple of doubles and 5 runs batted in. And Cano just right where he left off on Friday. Day off didn't bother him. Rips one into the corner. This is going to be his 35th double of the year. He's now got a 10-game hitting streak. I mean, he doesn't want the season to end.
I was talking with Kevin Long, who actually closed Cano's stance. And he said he'd wanted to do it for a while. He said, but how do you do that to somebody who's hit 310 and 340? He said, you just don't mess with it. He said, but when things were kind of hitting rock bottom for Robbie, he said, I kind of sold him on the fact you've got so many movements to your swing when you're wide open like that. He said, and if somebody wants to quick pitch you or pitch you inside, you're not able to get all those components moving. He said, and everything's moving so much, that's why you don't walk as much, because you're not seeing the ball as well.
You got to swing.
He said, if you just close up, that's eliminating one of the movements. And he said, Cano is a great student. Picked it up right away, and you can see the difference right now. You know what else that Kevin said that was very interesting, Kenny? He said, you see a lot of these hitters now, they do the leg kick. Alex Rodriguez does the leg kick. He said, when hitters do that, they're trying to stay back. He said, because it's hard for them to stay back, so if they do the leg kick as a timing device, it makes them stay back. He said, but pitching coaches are being really smart now, and they're having their pitchers slide step. And all of a sudden, you're all caught out of whack. He said it's happened to Alex Rodriguez a lot this year.
Ball gets upon you a little too quickly.
Yeah. He said all of a sudden you were having a guy be late on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball because his timing is thrown off. He said, and that was one of the things that Cano was having problems with, because everything was a timing device to get to that point to hit.
They talk about compact deliveries for pitchers, smooth, and same thing for hitters. Compact swings, little movement as possible. I think the hitter I remember over the years with there was a couple of them. Joe DiMaggio had hardly a stride at all, and Paul Molitor, not much movement at all.
Swing and a miss, and Ransom foul tips it into the glove of Varitek, one away.
Third strikeout from Matsuzaka. Cody Ransom Friday night saw 2 pitches, hit 2 of them over the wall in left field. This time his slider, it was up a bit, looked like a hittable pitch. He just swung right through it. Not a good location, but couldn't get to it.
Here's Molina. That one is fouled back.
You know, I was thinking about Jose hitting the last home run at Yankee Stadium. And of course, you could phrase it, the question, a trivia question years from now, in many ways. You know, which Molina brother hit the last home run at Yankee Stadium? That's one way you could do it. Well, Michael, when you're doing that 20, 30 years from now,
Oh, yeah.
you'll say, let me see, do I remember?
Now, Matsuzaka, we mentioned before, people get on base against him, but he gets tougher when they are on base. Opponents are 0 for the last 21 with runners in scoring position against Daisuke. Longest streak in the major leagues right now. The 0-2. Some more ominous dark clouds beyond center field.
Now, wasn't there a hurricane off the coast here? Moving up towards Canada?
They're saying that they might have lucked out where it might just pass Boston by. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to hit Maine. Runner goes to third. Swung and a miss. The throw to third is not in time. And dropped by Youkilis. So a stolen base for Cano, a strikeout for Molina.
This is only Cano's second stolen base of the year in 6 attempts. And you can see that Youkilis cannot hold on to the throw as the tag comes in. It was late anyway. Tag was late. Ball comes out of the glove, and Cano has a stolen base. He was trying to get the third with 1 out, but Molina struck out for out number 2.
Now Matsuzaka will face Gardner. Gardner with 16 runs batted in, despite hitting just .227. But he's been a different hitter since rejoining the Yankees 23 games ago. 18 for 59. That's .305. There's the kid in the stands and Gardner. They kind of look alike. And the guy in the stands is sitting next to a guy who kind of looks like Jabba Chamberlain. Or Jarrett Wright. Looks a little like Jarrett Wright. Count 1-1. .12 for 32 Gardner is with runners in scoring position. That's .375. Well, they were on TV. Now they're looking for the camera. Now they'll start playing to it. Little interactive TV. Get the phone lines burning. The 2-1 is grounded to second. Pedroia over to Katse. And 3 more outs with a runner in scoring position for Daisuke Matsuzaka. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Yeah, we're talking about you. How you doing? No score. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Men's Rogaine Foam. Use it or lose it. And by Lincoln. Reach higher. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. There is no score here at Fenway Park. First game of a day-night doubleheader. Each team with just 1 hit. It'll be 8-9-1 against Mike Messina, Lowry, Varitek, and Ellsbury. And the pitch to Lowry is a strike.
Red Sox have been very happy with Jed Lowry, called up from the minor leagues with the injury to Julio Lugo. Lowry's played 48 games at shortstop. He has not made an error at short.
Fly ball left center. Brett Gardner's there. And there's 1 away.
So he has been solid at that position. Here's Julio Lugo. He's been out for quite a while, and Lowry's a switch hitter. You wonder what's going to happen next spring.
I've always laughed, Kenny, when people go, and maybe if you're playing, you feel differently. Maybe you did.
Yeah.
You can't lose a job because of an injury. Well, if the guy that took over for you is better than you, why wouldn't you lose a job? He got an opportunity, and he showed that he was better than you. A lot of managers feel like that. Other managers say, hey, it's all about production. And one of the greatest examples, Wally Pipp had a headache and never got back in the lineup as Lou Gehrig took over.
Michael's getting darker here.
It is. And there's still a game to go. Obviously, they'd love to get 5 in here. And that would ensure the gate, because honestly, that's what this doubleheader is about. Yeah, you'll need somebody to score a run. And you can't knock the team. It's a business, and they make a lot of money with each gate. And these games mean absolutely nothing in the standings. The Rays have won the East. The Red Sox know who they're playing. They're starting their series against the Los Angeles Angels on Wednesday.
These games have been sold out for a long time, though.
And the tickets for the second game, the 7:30 game, are the tickets from yesterday. How about Varitek? In his last 91 games, he's hitting 188. That starts to become a little bit of a trend as he grounds out the shortstop. 2 outs.
Yeah, it's not been a good year offensively for Varitek. Of course, his value to the Red Sox is much more than that. He guides the pitching staff, and he's one of the most respected catchers in the league in that regard. He just offensively hadn't been doing it this year, and that's why he has found himself now in the batting in the 9th spot.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. And he bunts down the 3rd base line, and it's foul.
Oh, we talked about Ellsbury and Brett Gardner. The Yankees would like to see Gardner move up a step and move up a notch in his ability to play this game at the major league level. Ellsbury has done it. Ellsbury's rookie year comes in today with a 17-game hitting streak. Gardner has an 8-game hitting streak going. Ellsbury leads the league in steals. That's something you could see Gardner doing in the future.
Chop towards second. Cano right there, and he'll get Ellsbury. So a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Messina and the Yankees. Red Sox go down in order, and we go to the 4th. There's no score in the first game of a doubleheader at Fenway. Hey, it's time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz as we go to the 4th inning. Who was the last Yankees pitcher to record his 20th win on the last day of the season? Which is what Mike Messina's trying to do. Now, Mike was scheduled to pitch the last game of the season. That was supposed to be today, but they decided they'd pitch him in game 1 rather than game 2. Sidney Ponson goes in game 2. Now, if he was going to pitch in the last game and yesterday had not been rained out, he would have had an easier matchup as the opposing pitcher would be Tim Wakefield. I think the break that he'll catch is I don't think Matsuzaka is going to go a full game here, but the Yankees might see him longer than you would think because the Angels have the best record in the American League, so they chose to have the longer series. So there's a lot of days off. I believe the series lasts 8 days, so by the time game 3 rolls around, they'll only need 3 starters, and I think that would be next weekend because game 2 is Friday, and then they have to fly back. So then obviously he'd be the starter on Sunday. They might want to have him pitch a lengthy game here.
Just to get the work in.
Yeah. Matsuzaka was supposed to pitch on Friday, but with the delay at the start of the game, they decided to scratch him. So the Red Sox will face the Angels, and Tampa Bay is going to host either the White Sox or the Twins, who can't scratch 1 win out this weekend. Ground ball left side, Lowry, and Damon's out, not away.
Here's an example of the range of Jed Lowry, called up from the minor leagues. The Red Sox have several players that they've called up in recent years who've contributed to the efforts of the Red Sox team. Going to his right, has to throw on the run. Damon's got some speed, and he gets him by about a half a step. I wonder if Lugo sees that, man. What does he think?
He thinks I'm really happy I have 2 more guaranteed years at $10 million a year. Here's Bobby Abreu, pitch outside.
Talked about Abreu get his 100th RBI. That was his 7th time in his career, 100 RBIs. He's already had 7 times where he scored 100 or more runs, and he's trying for number 8. He needs 1 more run scored.
Playoff implication games. Florida now leads the Mets 1-0 top of the 6th. And the Cubs lead the Brewers 1-0 bottom of the 5th. White Sox over Cleveland 3-1 bottom of the 5th. And 2-0 Minnesota over Kansas City in the 3rd. Boy, nail-biting time for the fans of those teams. And this could be the last game at Shea Stadium as well ever. They have a big celebration ceremony planned for after the game. And talk about putting a dark cloud over that celebration if the Mets don't make the playoffs. So they chose to have their big celebration after the game, while the Yankees last Sunday chose to have their celebration before the game. And the 3-1 to Abreu. Foul out.
You're talking about teams going into the last games, the possibility of the last games of the season. And I recall playing in the last day, needed the win to go to the playoffs and lost the last game after going 27-7 down the stretch to get to that point, tied on the last day and then losing to the team that you had to beat. That was the most disappointing loss. Even losing the 7th game of the World Series wasn't as bad as this.
Why? Just because of the long road to get there? And
yeah, exactly. And it was just disappointing. That was in 1982, losing to the Brewers. After we needed to beat them all 4 games to win the division in a 4-game series to close out the season. We won the first 3, then lost on Sunday afternoon.
And you had a pretty good pitcher going Sunday afternoon, didn't you? Jim Palmer, I think.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And the 3-2. Check the swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Said Randy Marshall. A walk for Abreu.
Abreu puts the brakes on this one. Fastball up and away out of the strike zone. Yep, he did not swing, so he's on with a chance to score. Abreu, of course, can move himself into scoring position. Matsuzaka is not that all that good and holding runners on at first. So Abreu can move himself. Of course, he's got A-Rod at the plate, who's looking for one more home run to tie for the league lead.
Now, coming into this game, Alex actually leads the American League in slugging percentage by 1 point over Kevin Youkilis. Now, he led the American League in 03, 05, 07, all MVP seasons. And he could become the first player in the American League to lead the American League in slugging percentage in consecutive seasons since Manny Ramirez did it for Cleveland in '99 and 2000. Now, you might wonder, well, when's the last Yankee led a league in slugging percentage 2 straight years? Got to go all the way back to 1961 and 62 when Mickey Mantle did.
The thing about the 61 in particular, that was the year Roger Maris hit 61 home runs, and Mantle still led the league in slugging percentage because he hit 54 himself.
Clouds getting darker in center field and near the Prudential building as well. And you hope it's just circling the ballpark and not going to dump some more rain. Abreu goes. Throw to second is not in time. Stolen base for Bobby Abreu.
So Abreu now halfway to run number 100 as he steals his 22nd base of the year.
Looks like he hurt himself, Kenny.
Yep. Second base umpire Jerry Lane holding up his hand. Bobby Abreu, as Joe Girardi's going to come out. Let's see what happens here. Does he jam his wrist? He might have done that, or jammed a finger. But he is not going to come out of this game with a chance to score another run. Yep, you can see that the right foot gets to the right field side of the bag before the tag.
Well, he's hurt his left hand before, Kenny, because he always braces himself on his slide.
Veritek comes up throwing an accurate throw just a little bit to the third base side of the bag, and Bobby Abreu in the back door. Watch the left hand. Yep, he jams it once again. You're right, Michael. He had injured that wrist earlier this year. I think he missed a game, didn't he? He might have missed one.
Not sure. 22nd stolen base of the year. Now, a lot of players will carry batting gloves in their hands so that they don't jam their hand.
Here's that play, and it happened in Tampa against the Rays. Yep, and the same sort of deal, jamming that left wrist as he tries to put on the brakes while he slides. Some players will carry dirt in their hands as well.
3-2. Just missed outside as Alex works a walk, and Daisuke cannot believe it. He thought that was strike 3.
Veritek looked as though he was somewhat perplexed as well. Let's check out the pitch per pitch. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. Breaking ball outside evens the count. Another breaking ball hangs high and inside. Fastball to the corner. Stolen base by Abreu. Swung on and missed for strike 2. There's it. Wow. Whoa. That looked like a pretty good pitch.
Here is Giambi. Obviously, any runs you could push across right now loom is very large because of the weather that seems to be imminent just by looking. Very dark overhead.
This whole weekend's been imminent.
Doesn't look pretty. Pitch upstairs.
Here's where Giambi's thinking his A swing at a 2-0 pitch.
Dropped the breaking ball in there for a strike. Tough league. You work the count 2-0, you expect to see a fastball, but not anymore.
Well, we talked about Matsuzaka's lowest batting average against in the league. The Yankees only have 1 hit thus far in the game.
That time he dials it up to 93. And Giambi swings and misses.
After the breaking ball, he goes with the fastball. And some good movement on it out over the plate. This is a ball you're thinking to hit over the left center field, maybe tattoo the wall in left center.
Now, Matsuzaka has walked 2 straight batters, and his opposing pitcher Mike Messina has not walked more than 2 in a game all year. So certainly different styles for these 2 pitchers, and both of them work. Matsuzaka is 18-2 and Messina is 19-9. Two-two, swing and a miss. Again, he dialed it up, and he strikes out Giambi for the 2nd time today.
5th strikeout overall. Once again, we'll go with the pitch by pitch to see how he worked over Jason Giambi. Started with a breaking ball down, and another one upstairs, falls behind 2-0. Went with it again, dropped it in there for a strike. Fastball swung on a miss, 2-seamer. Breaking ball fouled back. Then he went with a high fastball and struck him out. It seems when the pitchers want to get Giambi out with 2 strikes, they elevate. You got to have something on it, but they elevate a fastball.
80 fouls away. Opponents are now 0 for their last 24 against Daisuke with runners in scoring position. And the Mets starting to feel the heat. Top of the 6th inning, a game they have to have. The Marlins lead 2-0. Scott Olson against Oliver Perez. And the 0-1. Breaking ball with no bite.
Almost bit 80.
We just saw the Cubs are leading 1-0 against Milwaukee. That's in the 6th inning as well. Top of the 6th. So if both of those teams lose, there'll be a 1-game playoff tomorrow at Shea Stadium to find out the wild card winner in the National League. Nady skies one down the right field line, giving chase is Drew in the corner, and that ball is gone. See ya. A home run by Xavier Nady right down near the Pesky pole on the day that Johnny Pesky's number is retired, and Nady has given the Yankees a 3-0 lead.
Well, Nady's got good power to the opposite field, but this is the first time I've seen him go down the right field line, and you can see J.D. Drew. The ball hit right on top of the fence there, then bounded into the seats for a home run.
Boy, is that a Fenway home run or not?
Oh, right on the fence and into the seats for a 3-run homer. Bobby Abreu scores his 100th run of the year, as he is the first man to touch home plate on his 3-run homer off the bat of Xavier Nady. So the 2 walks come back to haunt, and after 0 for 24 with runners in scoring position, the 25th time is the 25th home run of the year for Xavier Nady.
And he has 96 ribbies now on the season. Cano fouls one off. Javier Lopez now warms for the Red Sox.
That ball was hit. Of course, a lot of strange things can happen out in the right field corner. There's a lot of room out there for a right fielder to cover. And as Drew got closer and closer, I thought that ball might fall fair, but as he got close to the wall, I thought he had a real chance of making a play. It came up a little short.
Count 1-2 to Cano.
Right field here at Fenway Park is the only ballpark where the right fielder plays deeper than the foul pole.
And the 1-2. Foul back. So Mike Messina, trying for his 20th victory, is leading 3-0. Thanks to Xavier Nady. That one bounced up there.
Back in June when the Yankees played in Pittsburgh, Messina started the game that got rained out after about an inning and a third or whatever, and he did face Nady, and he struck Nady out. Nady helps him out today.
Robinson Cano continues his hot hitting with a single up the middle. He is 8 for his last 19. He's 2 for 2 today.
Not an easy pitch to hit, but he'll go down and get it. Man, look at that extension on the swing. A pitch well out of the strike zone. And Cano goes down and hits it right back through the middle for his second hit of the game. He is closing out the season in style. And Michael, you mentioned the fact that he doesn't have all that movement. I mean, he just dropped the barrel of the bat straight down to the ball and picked up that base hit.
Ransom fouls one straight back. Right over our head. And over the Boston radio booth. The 2 for 2 by Cano, his 44th multi-hit game of the season.
Cody Ransom has certainly done enough to be in consideration for a bench role next year with the Yankees. He's shown some power. He had some power in the minor leagues at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He had quite a few home runs. He was leading the team when he got called up. He's shown that he's pretty solid defensively at the 4 infield positions. Think so, Michael?
I think he's going to be back. I think he's Girardi's type of player.
He's got some power.
And he can play all the positions, as you mentioned. Good guy to have off the bench.
Doesn't say much.
It's not a debate team. It's just a team. The 2-1. Lined sharply and over the leaping try of Lowry into left field. Another base hit for the Yankees.
And another reason to bring back Cody Ransom. So with Javier Lopez warming up in the Red Sox bullpen, kind of tells you that Matsuzaka might not be out there much longer. Here's the base hit for Ransom. Pitch out over the plate. Another solid base hit. He had a multiple home run game here the other night.
The next pitch for Daisuke will be his 30th pitch of the inning. Hot shot grabbed there by Pedroia on the glove side. He will get Molina, and that will do it. But the Yankees break the scoreless tie. They score 3 runs on this one swing on a day when Johnny Pesky's number is retired. A 0-0 game retired. 3-0 now. Well, Dustin Pedroia will lead out the bottom of the 4th inning for the Red Sox. So why don't we take a look at the hitter scouting report of Pedroia, brought to you by Puerto Rico Tourism.
He's having a great year. 118 runs, leads the American League. 54 doubles, leads the American League. DPKYJM. Dustin Pedroia, Kevin Youkilis, or Justin Morneau. MVP. There might be a few other initials you can throw in there. You mentioned CC the other day, or
Not for the American League.
CQ. Carlos Quentin.
Yeah, and I think his injury moved him out of the running.
He'll get some votes, though.
You see how valuable he is because they're not winning without him.
Kevin Youkilis. Both of these guys, when Big Papi got injured, they stepped up big time. In fact, Pedroia batted 4th a couple of games and went crazy against the Chicago White Sox. Got walked intentionally by Ozzie Guillen a couple of times.
Now, I was talking to a writer today who actually has an MVP vote, and he said that he was going to vote for Morneau. And I said, well,
what? A Red Sox writer? A Boston writer?
Just saying a writer.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. You see with the AL leaders in hitting. And I said, well, why? He said, because Pedroia and Youkilis have other hitters around them that kind of protect them, but Morneau doesn't have anybody, and he has 129 RBIs. The only other hitter, this writer said, in the Twins lineup was Joe Mauer.
So just because they're on a good team, they shouldn't win?
Bad hop, eating up Ransom, and they give Pedroia a base hit. Kind of a gift. Although the bad hop did eat up Ransom.
We'll take a look at this again, and Pedroia looked like a routine ground to the short, but yeah, right there. You know, talking to Derek Jeter over the years, he says that Boston, the infield here at Fenway Park is the most uneven in the league. He doesn't like it. He says every once in a while you'll get a soft spot. Yeah, that should be a base hit, that last hop. It's like the old parquet floor at the old Boston Gardens. You say soft spots? Ball, dead spots, ball wouldn't bounce up. Visiting players didn't know where they were.
And Bob Cousy did.
So my point is that Pedroia and Youkilis both stepped up big time when Big Papi was out and carried the Red Sox for that period of time. The 45 games that Ortiz missed.
The 0-1.
No, I'm not buying that, Michael, that they shouldn't get consideration because they're on a better team.
The Mets have tied it up. Carlos Beltran with a 2-run home run. It's now 2-2. Bottom of the 6th.
Well, Pedroia won Rookie of the Year last year, and if he wins the MVP this year, he would be the 3rd player to do that.
Still 1-0 Cubs, top of the 7th inning.
Years ago, Cal Ripken won Rookie of the Year, then MVP, and Ryan Howard did it for the Phillies a few years back.
Two-one pitch. Hit sharply at the middle, of base hit off the bat of David Ortiz. Pedroia will stop right there at second.
So back-to-back hits as Big Papi finds the middle of the diamond. And you can see that pitch was up about bell time, middle of the zone. He's much too good a hitter. He's not going to miss that. He's going to hit it with authority. He did. Pedroia is going to stop at second base. Big Papi's now hitting 6 straight games.
Here's Youkilis. 7 for his last 14. And the fastball is a strike on the outside corner. How about this? Last game or last day of the year, Messina's still throwing 90 miles an hour with his fastball. So he is He's retained his velocity throughout the season and really had a bounce back season from last year. 43 pitches for Messina, 28 strikes. And another strike on the outside corner. Google is not in love with that call.
They had doubled up on the fastball, almost a carbon copy of the first pitch. You could see Molina shifting. Maybe got a little help on that one. Euclid is known for having a good eye. Didn't believe it was a strike, and you know, I might have to agree with him on that one. He got a little bit of a pitch, might have been a little off the plate.
And the 0-2. Given out to deep center field. Gardner is there, and he'll put it away. Tagging Pedroia, he'll go to third. So there's one away. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. And it regards 20-game winners. Who was the last Yankees pitcher to record his 20th win on the last day of the season? And the answer is Fritz Peterson back in 1970. The last pitcher to win his 20th win of the year on the last day of the season for his team was Roy Oswalt in 2005.
Oswalt's had another good year. I think he's won 17 this year and has led the kind of resurgence of the Astros since June.
Messina looking for his 270th career win, the 269 most among pitchers who have never won 20 in a season. And as we mentioned, if he wins today, Messina would become the oldest pitcher ever to win 20 games in a season for the first time. 3 pitchers have had their first 20-win season at age 37 or older. Jamie Moyer at age 38 did it in 2001. Ali Reynolds at 37 did it in 1952. And David Wells at 37 did it in 2000. There's a strike.
Of course, Reynolds and Wells did it with the Yankees.
And the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away.
Should say Reynolds did it with the Yankees. Wells was where was he in that?
Well, he was traded to the Blue Jays
yeah.
for Clemens.
Torana.
And the 1-2. This could be 2. There's one. On to first, a double play off the bat of J.D. Drew as Messina works into and out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Turned nicely. Cano to Ransom. Over to Giambi, and of course, Mike Messina likes what he sees. Pitcher's best friend.
Hi everyone, Bob Lorenz with a Nissan update. Let's check the Marlins and Mets. Things not looking good for the Mets until the bottom of the 6th. Down 2-0, but one swing of the bat by Carlos Beltran ties it up. The homer off Scott Olsen makes it 2-2. That's where they stand. Meantime, Cubs up 1-0 over Milwaukee. Cubs scoring that run on an error behind CC Sabathia, who's allowed just 3 hits through 7. Michael?
Wow, tight games right down to the end as they battle for the last spot in the National League. The National League wild card, the Mets and the Cubs. Here at Fenway Park, we go to the 5th inning, and Terry Francona, the Red Sox manager, makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. So Matsuzaka lasts just 4 innings, and he gives up that 3-run home run to right field by Xavier Nady, and he leaves trailing 3-0. Now it's time for Javier Lopez.
Yeah, left-hander coming into the ball game with the Yankees scheduled to send up 3 left-handed hitters here in the top half of the 5th inning. Gardner, Damon, and Abreu. You can see the numbers on Javier Lopez, and you can watch the way he throws. It tells you that he is tough on lefties.
On the Corona Extra scoreboard, 3-0 Yankees on 4 hits, and 0-3-0 for Boston. Matsuzaka's season ERA after giving up the 3 runs in 4 innings is now 2.90. Not a bad ERA in the American League. Anything under 3 is outstanding. And the home run by Nady was the first he had given up with a runner in scoring position, I believe, in 25 at bats.
First
hit. Forget about home run.
Yeah.
The 0-1. There's a strike.
Yeah, you can see how the slinging motion of Javier Lopez would make it difficult for lefties to hit him. They're only batting 187 against him on the season.
Throws hard, kind of has that slingshot motion. The count 1-2. And the pitch. Tied him up. And Gardner down on strikes. He turns and asks Phil Cuzzy if it was a strike or not.
Yep, when you swung and missed it, it was. And it hides the ball very well, and that was a strike. It had the inside corner. See when he drops his left hand behind him and shields it from a left-hand hitter, plus the slinging motion. You can see how things can be very difficult when you're on that side of the plate. A little bit easier when you're hitting right-handed against Javier Lopez.
Damon fouls one away. The 0-1. Damon thinks about bunting and takes a strike, now 0-2. Damon's 0 for 2 today. He's hitting .304.
Johnny will probably, in all probability, end up the season hitting over 300. It'll be the 5th time and that he's done it in his career. First time with the Yankees.
Missed just outside, 1-2. Since '98 through last year, led the American League with 285 stolen bases. He's been a very good player for a long time. Won a championship here with the Red Sox in '04.
He's been one of those steady type players, and I think that consistency is something you could say about Johnny Damon. He's played in 140 or more games with 13 straight years now.
And before this year, he'd never been on the DL.
Yeah, so one of those guys, it's a very dependable player.
2-2. Fouled away.
And, you know, I think it applies to Damon, Derek Jeter. You know, Mariano Rivera, I think, falls in that category. Not being spectacular. They can be at times, but it's their consistency that really makes them very good players. That day in and day out, they do what they do.
Hit sharply to short, backing up is Lowry to get a better hop. 2 away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Here's Bobby Abreu. He scored a run in the 4th inning, his 100th of the season. Fouled off in front of the plate.
Now, here's another player that falls into that consistency sort of thing. You know, you look at his numbers year in and year out. He gets his 100 RBIs. Maybe he's not going to drive in 120 or 130 because he doesn't hit as many home runs as some of the bigger hitters. But he's going to get around 20 homers. He has 20 this year. And 100 ribbies, and 100 runs scored. And always a decent on-base percentage. And that's what the Yankees have to make a decision on. Do they want this type of player back on their team?
So much of it comes down to how many years does Abreu want, what kind of money does he want.
Yeah, it's all in the negotiations.
And the Yankees, when they made the trade for Nady, you know what, you don't do everything in a vacuum. They realize that Abreu's contract is up. Nady's is not. Nady is a natural right fielder who's playing left field for the Yanks, so they have a replacement for Abreu if they don't re-sign him. And Nady would just move to right, Damon would stay in left, and they have to pick up a center fielder.
Who's going to score 100 and drive in 100?
I guess they hope that whoever that center fielder is will do that. And then Matsui, they would assume, if he's healthy in the DH, that he could put those numbers in.
Well, if you're looking for a center fielder, you're not going to give Brett Gardner a chance to take the job. That's what it sounds like. And I think he has shown some ability over the last month or 5 weeks.
But they always tell you, be careful what you see in September.
Yeah.
You never know. You can judge a person on that.
But I think what we've seen improvement, particularly in his hitting. You know, his running game is there. An ability to play the center field is there.
Three-two. Walk them. So a 2-out walk issued by Lopez, and that's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez popped a short and walked and scored a run.
For a while there, it looked like A-Rod had a chance to win himself a batting title. He took the lead briefly back on August the 2nd. But has hit around 250 since then and dropped out of contention. But just behind Carlos Quentin and Miguel Cabrera of Detroit, who's after a slow start has come on.
That one gets away from Baratek. And the ball boy almost picked the baseball up. Obviously the bat boy standing on the on-deck circle, and I guess he saw Baratek running toward him and thought better of it.
Well, the bat boy almost turned into a ball boy. Here's the ball getting away from Baratek, and as he races for it.
No, I better not. Big at bat for A-Rod, because if he makes it out, his average is going to drop to 299. Count 3-1.
Well, with Giambi up next, here's a parking spot for A-Rod if Lopez wants to tease him with a pitch near the strike zone or out of it.
Count is full on Alex with 2 outs. Yankees were leading 3-0. We're in the top of the 5th. First game of a day-night doubleheader to end the season for the Yankees. And for the Red Sox, they've got some business after this as they try to defend their world championship. And the 3-2. Dialed it back again.
And they'll take on the Angels out in Anaheim. I kind of have a feeling that the team that wins that series is going to represent the American League in the World Series.
And the Red Sox usually have the Angels number. Three-two. Grounded just foul. Varitek wants to go out and talk with Lopez. Well, the Red Sox have a very tough call on Varitek, who's having a miserable season offensively. His contract is up. He's the captain of this team. They love the way he works with pitchers, but he's going to want a contract that's somewhat similar to what Posada got because he's the same age. But Posada was coming off a career year, and he's coming off a career worst year. Be very interesting to see which way they go. The 3-2. Dribbled slowly, third base side. That's going to be a base hit for Alex. As Abreu moves to third.
No 299 for Alex Rodriguez. In fact, he's 1 for 2 today. He might have jumped up to 301. You can see Lopez bounding off the mound, and Youkilis at third was playing very deep with A-Rod at the plate. You can see he's got no chance. And once this ball gets by Lopez, infield single, Abreu moves over to third. And the inning continues for the Yankees.
And here's Giambi, who is 4 away from 100, and he's got 2 runners on base. Lopez deals outside. A-Rod now at 301 with that base hit. And in all likelihood, he is not going to play in the second game, you would think. Manny Del Carmen warming for the Red Sox.
Giambi has closed the season with somewhat of a rush. Last 36 games, he's driven in 28 runs to get to 96 runs batted in on the season.
Check swing. But no. Randy Moore said he went around. So it's 2-1 rather than 3-0.
Well, it might have been the first check swing called a strike in the games we've seen here.
That's no different than the ones they didn't call strikes.
Exactly.
Really turns the count around. Still in the favor of Giambi, though. The 2-1. Off-speed pitch, way out in front of the breaking ball. Count 2-2.
Varitek shifts to the outside, and a sweeping breaking ball for the swing and a miss.
And the 2-2. Strike 3. Giambi down looking. So Lopez works into and out of trouble. Giambi has struck out 3 times today. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through. It's 3-0 Yankees. Hey fans, get another chance to see the game another time around with WB Mason Presents Yankees Encore later after each game, and again the next morning at 9. It's only on Yes. On the Corona Extra scoreboard, it's 3-0 Yankees as Mike Messina tries to get his 20th victory of the season. Now, Mike has not won at Fenway Park since 2002. And since 1996, let me amend that, I'm sorry. In 1996, he had a chance to win 20 games. And he pitched 2 games having won 19, Kenny. He was 0-2 with a 6.97. Career against Boston, 20-17, 3.71. And I think that's something that sometimes is left unsaid about Messina. He's closing in on 270 wins if he gets this one today. And he got those 270 wins in the crucible of the American League East, pitching for the Orioles and the Yankees. And those are a lot of tough games, a lot of big games. And in the Oriole case, he's pitching in a very small ballpark as well. And he's pitching it in a performance-enhancing, aided era. So 270 is pretty special for what he's done. Now, speaking of big games, the Brewers have tied the Cubs. Mets and the Marlins tied. Minnesota 2-0 over KC, bottom of the 6th. White Sox 3, Cleveland 1, bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss as Bay down on strikes.
Messina picks up his second strikeout. Bay has been struck out both times swinging. I agree with you, Michael, about Mike Messina, and is certainly I think that also what you mentioned enhances his Hall of Fame credentials.
You would think.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you mentioned, the last thing you mentioned, the era in which he pitched.
Fly ball down the left field line off the bat of Kotze instead of play.
And I think if you look at the fact that he's more than 100 games over 500 for his career. His ERA most years was much lower than the league ERA. You also mentioned his record against the Red Sox. He's beaten them 20 times. 17 losses, the most losses he has against any team.
Ground ball to Cano. Kotze's out. And Messina now 1 out away from an official game. Although the sky looks a little less foreboding right now. That's going to bring up Jed Lowry. And there's a strike by Messina.
This is Messina's 5th start against the Red Sox this year, which, you know, kind of illustrates your point, how many times he pitches against some pretty good teams.
That one's drilled down the right field line, but it's a foul ball.
And he is 1-2 with a no decision against the Red Sox in the previous 4 this season. The Yankees have won 2 of the games he pitched. The no decision game, the Yankees actually won that one because he pitched well enough and kept them in the ball game.
And the 0-2. Oh, wow. Messina and Molina walking toward the Yankee dugout, and that will not curry any favor with Phil Cuzzi.
Along with the infield. Pitch looks like it comes back and hits the outside corner. Molina thought so. Yeah, Messina thought so, but the man that counted, you can see the whole infield shifting back to their positions.
And the 1-2. Missed outside, 2-2. Umpires don't like that. Messina's trying to complete at least 5 innings for the 24th straight start. There's a strike 3, and that'll do it. It is an official game, and the Yankees are leading 3-0. The Red Sox go down in order 1-2-3 as Messina picks up 2 more strikeouts, getting closer to his 20th win, first time in his career. It's time for the game summary presented by Sharp Aquas, the official HDTV of Major League Baseball. Yankees have 3 runs on 5 hits. Red Sox scoreless with 3 hits. Nady 1 for 2 with 3-run home run. That's the only offense in the game. And it's his 12th home run with the Yankees. Pedroia 2 for 2, 2 singles, now hitting .327 for the season. Remember, Joe Mauer came into the game hitting .330 for the Twins, leading the American League. And you see the lines for the starting pitchers. Matsuzaka is out of the game, and Messina has gone 5 innings. New pitcher for the Red Sox is Manny Del Carmen.
Boston native coming into the ball game. He'll be the 3rd pitcher following Lopez and Matsuzaka. Del Carmen's got himself a pretty good fastball. That is indicated by the 72 strikeouts and 72 1/3 innings. 73rd appearance of the year. Been busy out of that Red Sox bullpen.
Here's Nady. Grounded foul. Off-speed pitch way out in front was Nady. The count 0-2.
Curveball at 77 miles an hour.
Marlins lead the Mets now 3-2, top of the 8th inning. That one is lined into right field. It is a base hit. Cutting over is J.D. Drew. And Nady picks up a single. He's 2 for 3.
One thing about Nady that I've been impressed with, I know he was having a good year in Pittsburgh. He was hitting .330, but his ability to hit the ball hard to the opposite field. Kind of the same manner that Derek Jeter does, but Nady's a bigger man. He hits the ball with even more authority.
Bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1. Cubs and the Brewers. Coming down to the last couple of innings for both teams.
Yeah, find out who your real players are.
How excruciating for the fan bases of both of those teams.
Oh, there's some
nail biting going on.
Yeah, sweating on the benches.
Also, you definitely can tell the guys that want to be in those spots and the guys that step up. Some guys shy from that. Some guys embrace it. Hot shot. Oh, stopped by Lowry. He flips to Pedroia on to first. Not in time. What a play by Jed Lowry, taking away a base hit from Cano.
Well, you can see why the Red Sox are impressed by this young man and his ability to play shortstop. He's also played some third base and some second, but this is very impressive. Looked like Cano had his third hit of the afternoon, but it's taken away by Lowry. Knocks it down, and watch the flip. Off balance flip. A little bit behind Pedroia, but he still gets it, and they almost turned 2. You heard the sound that ball was scorched, and Cano, instead of a hit, reaches on the fielder's choice.
Ransom swings and misses. Breaking ball is outside. Count 2-1. Cano's at first with 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. First game of a day-night doubleheader at Fenway Park. The 2-1 to Ransom. Breaking ball is a strike. Count 2-2. How about this line, Kenny, in the Brewer game?
Yeah.
Sabathia, 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run not earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Third straight game he's pitched on 3 days rest. And leading off the 9th inning, get this, Kenny, Sabathia is hitting to lead off the 9th inning.
So he's staying in the game.
He has 107 pitches through 8.
I know he's hit a home run this year.
Yesterday, Santana stepped up. And now today, Sabathia stepping up. Also, Oliver Perez pitched well for the Mets today. Runner goes. And a walk to Ransom.
You're talking about all these tight ball games, and you know, if I can remember what it was like as Jose Molina steps in. 4-2 now. The Marlins lead the Mets.
And by the way, Sabathia's leading up the bottom of the 8th, so he will pitch tonight.
Oh, okay.
And he struck out looking.
You don't sleep much.
There's a ground ball to Molina. They go to second, one on to first. It's a double play. Ransom went in hard and clean, but Pedroia stepped back, knew who was running, and he turned it around the horn. 5-4-3 double play. No runs a hit, no errors, and one left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Yanks. Hey, the Yankees' 2008 season comes to a close tonight, and with this follows the season finale of WB Mason Presents The Joe Girardi Show. Turn to Yes this Tuesday as the skipper sits down to recap his first year at the helm and discusses what we can expect for next spring. It's the season finale of the Joe Girardi Show, Tuesday night at 6:30 and later again at 9:30 only on Yes. See what Mike Messina's done. He's been economical, 62 pitches through 5 innings. His toughest inning was the 4th when he threw 18 pitches and the Red Sox had runners on first and second, nobody out, but he got out of it. The sun is trying to pop through, so they had to bring the flip down glasses to Bobby Abreu and right. So a weekend that has been miserable weather-wise, and all of a sudden we see some semblance of sun.
Of course, Yankee fans remember back to the days of Lou Piniella playing right field here at Fenway Park late in the season. How awful the sun can be here for a right fielder.
And Jerry Remy remembers it as well, the Red Sox broadcaster, because he's the one who hit that ball. The Brewers have taken a 3-1 lead over the Cubs. And that's in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan Braun, a 2-run home run.
I think Miller Park is jumping.
Wow. It was jumping yesterday because the Red Sox game was rained out, so they carried it here, and watched most of that game. It was jumping. The 2-2. Phil Koch and Brian Bruni warming for the Yankees. So the count 3-2 on Varitek. Leading off here in the bottom of the 6th. Varitek, Ellsbury, and Pedroia. And the pitch. And he walked it.
Moose thought he might have had a strike there. He's looking in at Phil Cuzzy. This has been a strike zone that's moved around a little bit today. Both good and bad. He's gotten some help at times and maybe felt he's been squeezed at times. As Molina tried to snatch that one a little bit closer to the corner. Not been known to be Cuzzy, not been known to be the best ball strike umpire in the league. A little inconsistent. And I think that's showing once again this afternoon.
And the only thing that players ask of umpires, if you have a wide strike zone, it should be wide all the time. If you have a tight strike zone, it should be tight all the time. But they don't want a floating strike zone, Kenny.
In fairness to Cuzzy, we're going to get a pinch runner at first base for Varitek. There's been some pitches I thought he's helped out Mike Messina today early in the ball game, but I don't think he helped him out on that particular one.
So the captain, Jason Varitek, is replaced at first base. I believe it's the other catcher, George Kataris.
Yeah.
So he will pinch run and take over behind the plate. On Friday, Kataris picked up his first big league hit. And now the pitch to Ellsbury is outside 1-0. So for Messina, that's his second walk. And as we mentioned, he has not walked more than 2 in any game this year, which is an amazing show of consistency. That one is driven deep to center field. Going back, Gardner. He has room. He'll make the play for the first out of the 6th.
Well, Dave Island immediately went out to talk to Messina after the leadoff walk to Varitek, and leadoff walks can be a sign of a fatigue or just falling out of your rhythm. Messina usually repeats his delivery very well, command of all of his pitches. Also gave the bullpen some time to warm up. Bullpen's going to be a factor in this game today, and trying to hold this lead for Messina. They've done a good job all year for him. But they know the added importance. You've got what you say, Bruni and Phil Koch warming up. They know the importance of holding on to this lead for Messina today.
Here's Dustin Pedroia. He has 213 hits, and that leads the major leagues. And this is a guy, when he started last year, Kenny, he was abysmal. And they were talking about, well, how can they keep him up here? And I think Francona wavered at times as well, but the Boston front office said this kid's legitimate. He will find his way, and he did.
On his way to Rookie of the Year.
And he has the most unusual approach at the plate, Kenny, because he swings so hard, and usually if you swing that hard, you never hit for a high average. Here he is at 327, and he makes contact, and he's swinging out of his shoes.
Yeah, tough to strike out. He's 2 for 2 today. Foul tipped that one into the glove of Molina. Since June 14th, Pedroia's hitting about 380.
Looks like he's hitting into a double play there. There's one, and there's two, as Messina gets Pedroia to bang into a 4-6-3 double play. So the inning opening walk doesn't hurt him, and Mike Messina knows how close he's getting to 20 as we go to the 7th. 3-0 Yanks. Is this the last pitch that Mike Messina has thrown in the big leagues? 73 pitches, and they give him the baseball from that last double play, and then they start to shake hands, usually an indication that that is it, and he will turn over this game to his bullpen. And I wonder about that, Kenny. This is obviously big. He's not saving it for anything else. He's got 73 pitches, which is low. I don't know if the Yankees are said, all right, you're coming out, or if Messina's coming out, but I would want to get as many outs for my 20th win. Now he's turning over something that's very important to him, to other pitchers. High fly ball off the bat of Gardner, and Drew is there, one away.
Well, 73 pitches?
73 pitches.
73.
And he's thrown a shutout, too.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at the hitters. He's 3, 4, and 5 next inning. You've got Phil Koch. 2 of those 3 hitters are left-handers. So if you're managing the game, you're going to go to Phil Koch.
You would think.
Yeah, because he's warmed up. And it looks like he's starting to throw again in the bullpen. And Messina heads up the tunnel to the Yankee clubhouse. So Joe Girardi's going to go with the percentages, and 2 of the 3 hitters are lefties next inning.
Damon fouls one off his foot.
So he's going to piece the game together from this point on with the Yankee bullpen, which has been a strength of the team for most of the season.
Well, Messina will have to hold his breath for 9 outs as the Yankee bullpen will try to piece it together, as Kenny said. And Mariano Rivera has said that he is ready to work in this game if need be. And there's 2 away.
Well, let's see. Moose has won his last 2 outings, and he went 6 innings in one and 5 in another. So the bullpen held on for him in the last 2.
Right. Well, the 5-1 was a product of getting hit on the elbow.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's stiffening up again. I know the training staff has worked really hard on it. Here's Bobby Abreu. Bobby has reached everything that he wanted to reach this year, other than the 300 batting average. He scored his 100th run in the 4th inning. And on Friday, he drove in his 100th run.
He's had a no-contact afternoon, a strikeout, 2 walks, but the contact that he has made was one of his feet touching home plate for the 100th time this year. He was on board for Nady's 3-run homer in the 4th inning.
And the count 1-1. There's a strike. And the count 1-2. 2 away here in the 7th inning. Manny Del Carmen, the third pitcher used by the Red Sox. Matsuzaka went 4. Javier Lopez went 1. And Del Carmen came on in the 6th and now pitching here in the 7th. The only damage on the scoreboard, a 3-run home run by Nady off Matsuzaka in the 4th. Count 2-2.
Well, Carmen, we mentioned he's a local product, but also he's been very effective out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. The league hitting just .206 against him. He's been able to throw some effective innings for the Red Sox this year.
2-2. Breaking ball, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So the count 3-2. I don't know if the little guy's making the second game. You have to have another ticket. It's a separate admission day-night doubleheader.
School tomorrow.
3-2. Driven deep to center field, giving chase is Ellsbury on the run, on the track, at the wall, makes the play. And the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Manny Del Carmen. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Can the Yankees get 9 outs to nail down Messina's 20th win?
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz with the Tri-State Ford update. The Milwaukee Brewers did what they had to do today with a 3-1 lead, top of the 9th. CC Sabathia gets a double play off the bat of Derek Lee. Milwaukee gets the win behind a complete game performance by Sabathia and his second start on 3 days rest. This is his 7th complete game in 17 starts for Milwaukee. So Milwaukee gets a win. Meantime, Mets and Marlins have gone top of the 9th. The Mets down by 2, 4-2. They have to win to force a playoff tomorrow.
Mets a half game behind the Brewers as the Brewers have won their game behind CC Sabathia. And you know what, Kenny? He might be winning the Cy Young Award in that league. I mean, what he's done in September and down the stretch and pitching a complete game in a must-win situation, pretty unbelievable. Now, the Mets could force a playoff game tomorrow if they can come back. They're trailing 4-2 right now, bottom of the 8th inning, and they have runners on first and second with 2 outs, and the Marlins are going to the bullpen. So it's really coming down to the wire. Yankees going down to the bullpen right now as Phil Koch will come on. Gave up his first run of his big league career on Friday, but his numbers are pretty special.
He's been a revelation for the Yankees out of the bullpen. The youngster called up to the big leagues for the first time this year, and you can almost tell that he had good stuff. On his first appearance was back when the Yankees were in Detroit, and he faced the top of the Tigers order and struck out 2 of the 3 hitters he faced, including Miguel Cabrera, who's leading the league in home runs for the 3rd out of the inning. And he's been impressive ever since. So what did you talk about, Sabathia?
Unbelievable.
It was his 3rd straight start or 3 days rest.
3 days rest. All must wins, obviously. So now the Brewers will repair to their clubhouse and see whether or not the Mets win. They go to the 9th inning at Shea. Phil Koch deals to Ortiz, who swings and misses. So Mike Messina went 6 and allowed 3 hits and no runs. So how many strikeouts do you have for Messina?
3.
3. And 2 walks.
Bay twice and Lowry once.
And the 0-1. Foul back.
Another thing that's been impressive about Koch, Michael, and I'll see if you agree with me, his ability to throw strikes. I mean, sometimes young pitchers are inconsistent. I mean, he's got a nice, easy, fluid delivery, as we saw the Yankee bullpen continue to warm up. Bruni and Marte, right-hander and a left-hander. But he just throws strikes, and I think that's the most important thing as a reliever. Come in, you got the game on the line. Can't be walking people, put men on base, starting rallies.
Ground ball to Cano. He gobbles it up, and Ortiz is out, 1 away.
Yeah, Koch has now thrown 14 innings and 2 walks.
And the thing about Koch is he's a rookie, but he's 26. So he has learned his trade down in the minor leagues. And until this year, he wasn't really considered a guy that was going to go to the big leagues and make a difference. But he developed his cutter and kind of a slider sort of pitch, and that mixes with a good 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Now becomes a viable option for the Yankees. He could start, too.
Now, wasn't he one of the players that the Pirates
turned him down?
Turned him down. They took somebody else.
That happens so many times, Kenny, because if you remember when the Yankees made the trade with the Diamondbacks for Randy Johnson, the Diamondbacks could have taken Robinson Cano and Chien-Ming Wang, and they passed over both of them. So sometimes you just don't know what a team has. And who knows, when the Pirate scouts were scouting the minor leagues, maybe Koch had a bad game.
No, wasn't pitching well.
Right.
Exactly.
You never know. And the 1-2 outside.
So now the Yankees are left with Koch in the spot.
That's right. Swing and a miss. Pounded fastballs in on Youkilis there, and Youkilis swings and misses, 2 away.
Yeah, he really worked him over, moving the ball around, and finally came in for the strikeout. You see Molina right to the glove. I mean, Molina could have caught this one blindfolded. Puts the target up, and the ball, watch, he doesn't have to move it at all. Right to the glove, swung on and missed, or maybe foul tip by Youkilis, but he's headed back to the dugout.
Pitch to Drew, swing and a miss.
And I know you like Koch because he works quickly too.
He does, and he throws strikes.
He's not walking around the mound, fooling around with the rosin bag, just wheeling and dealing. Ooh, little visitation right for J.D. Drew. Got to move a left-handed hitter, make you think about diving for that outside corner. Watch that next snap back. Yep. Wouldn't surprise me if the next one was a breaking ball, down and away.
1-1. Went away with a fastball.
Fastball.
That's good pitching, though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's it. He set up the outside corner, 96 miles an hour. Maybe this will be the breaking ball.
The 1-2.
See ya.
Another 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and he retires the Red Sox in order 1-2-3, and doing it in dominating fashion. He strikes out 2. We go to the 8th. Yankees lead 3-0 over the Red Sox. Hey fans, today on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 2 of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or for more information visit ChevyOffers.com. Vote now and make your voice heard. Today's candidates are number 1, Mike Messina, number 2, Xavier Nady, number 3, Robinson Cano, and number 4, Dustin Pedroia. Standard text messaging rates apply. A look at the green monster. Nobody has gone over the monster today, and that's why we have a 3-0 game. Not too many runs. The home run today was off the bat of Xavier Nady, and it went to the other side of the field, hit off the top of the wall down the right field line, about as short a home run as you could hit here at Fenway, and that's the difference in the game, as Terry Francona now goes to Hideki Okajima to pitch the 8th inning. Okajima deals to A-Rod. There's a strike. A-Rod is 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
This might be Alex's last at bat of the season if he doesn't make an appearance in the second game. And he will hit 300 this year, even if he makes an out in this at bat.
He's at 301 right now with an infield single, rolling down the third base line in the 5th inning. And the 0-2. Breaking ball is inside, 1-2.
Inside, maybe a little low.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Off speed pitch. Like a changeup. A-Rod way out in front.
Well, they call a off-speed pitch from Okajima the okey doke, and it looks like what he got. Gave A-Rod the okey doke, and now back to the dugout. You can see he's well out in front. Kind of a disjointed swing, and there's one out.
Here is Jason Giambi. Has not had a good day. He is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Fastball is away. 1-0. Minnesota leads Kansas City 4-0 in the 8th. White Sox lead Cleveland 5-1. So that means that the White Sox are going to have to play, if those scores hold up, a rainout makeup day tomorrow.
In Detroit.
In Detroit.
Bet your Tigers will be thrilled with that.
Popped up. And right there is Youkilis. 2-away. And then if they win that game, then they've got to play a tie-breaking game
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday against the Twins. And there's a strike to Xavier Nady, who's had a good day. He's 2 for 3. And the 0-on. 1-1.
I can see how Joe Girardi trying to piece this one together. Koch in the 7th, Chamberlain in the 8th, and probably Mariano in the 9th.
Rip foul. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. An impressive 8th inning for Hideki Okajima. He retires the Yankees in order. 1-2-3, strikes out 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be Java. Tuesday night at 10. Turn to yes for an all-new This Week in Football presented by Geico. All eyes are on Brett's Jets as the crew breaks down today's game with Arizona. Plus, as the Giants get back in action, they'll preview next Sunday's matchup against the Seahawks. It's an all-new This Week in Football. Tuesday night at 10, right here on Yes. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 3-0 Yankees, and the Yankees will try to get 3 outs out of Jabba Chamberlain, and then they will turn it over to Mariano Rivera.
Besides the pitching change, the Yankees have made some defensive moves, trying to tighten up defensively as they get down to the final 6 outs here. There's the numbers on Jabba. 100 in the 3rd innings, 118 strikeouts. The Yankees have a new first baseman and a new right fielder.
Juan Miranda will take over at first. And the right fielder. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Juan Miranda. And then in right field, it is Melky Cabrera. And the count goes 3-0 on Jason Bay, who struck out twice against Messina. Messina had a chance to win 20 in 1996 as Bay walks. He picked up his 19th win on September 7th of that year, had 4 starts. Could not get a victory, but in his last start, which was on September 28th, the same day as this one, at Toronto, he went 8 innings, 4 hits, and 1 run pitched beautifully. He had 9 strikeouts, and he left with a 2-1 lead, Kenny. Armando Benitez came in the 9th inning, and he strikes out Joe Carter for the first out.
Gotcha.
And then he gives up a home run to Ed Sprague to tie the game.
Ooh.
The Orioles eventually won the game 3-2 in extra innings, but Messina did not get his 20th. And there's a strike to Kotze. In the strike-shortened year, he had 16 wins on August 7th. Then the strike hit, and the rest of the season was shut down.
94.
In 94. And I believe that was the year that our colleague, David Cohn, won the Cy Young Award. And another colleague, Paul O'Neill, won the batting title that year. And the 1-1. There's a strike. Jaba's last 7 games, 9 1/3 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts. Check swing on a slider. Now, Jaba has a 1.80 ERA in 29 relief appearances this year, 2.76 in 12 starts. And in the live ball era, only 1 pitcher had a season with ERAs as low as Chamberlain's, both as a reliever, minimum 20 games, and as a starter, minimum 10 starts. And that was Phil Niekro, who did it for the Braves in 1967. So only 1 other pitcher. The 2-2. Just got a piece to stay alive.
67, Niekro worked both as a starter and as a reliever.
Niekro had 20 starts in 67, 1.96 ERA, and he had 26 relief appearances, 1.54. Jonathan Papelbon warming for the Red Sox. And the 2-2. Line down the right field line. That is going to be trouble. It is a base hit, and it bounces over the wall for a double. Jason Bay will stay at third.
Looked like a breaking ball that hung up for Kotze. Yeah, this one not only hung up, it was almost right down the middle. And he rips it down the right field line, 1 hop into the seats for a 2-base hit. Kotze's been struggling with the bat, and now all of a sudden he comes up with a hit that gets the Red Sox moving here in the 8th inning.
Now Joe Girardi will go out to the mound. It's not Dave Island. They've got action in the bullpen, double-barreled action, a lefty and a righty. You've got Lowry on deck, and how about that? Girardi is taking out Chamberlain. Boy, does he want to win this game. He is not taking any chances that Jaba just might not have it today. So he's going to play mix and match with the guys that he has in the bullpen. It's 3-0. Bruni comes on to face Lowry, trying to hold on for Messina's 20th. Hey fans, keep it here on Yes following the last out for the Nissan postgame as Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty give you detailed analysis of this first game of the doubleheader at Fenway Park. And Kimberly Jones heads into the clubhouse for exclusive interviews with the players and manager Joe Girardi. It's the Nissan postgame, and it's right here on Yes. Things get a little sweaty for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they turn to Brian Bruni, who's had a tremendous season that was somewhat truncated because of the Lisfranc sprain, but very odd seeing Jaba Chamberlain taken out of a game, Kenny.
In the middle of an inning, I haven't seen that very often during the course of the year, maybe for matchup considerations, lefty against righty, but Jaba out of there. Joe Girardi not wasting any time, and he goes to Bruni, who's working with a 1.87 ERA.
And the pitch to Lowry is upstairs, 1-0. There's a strike, count 1-1.
Bruni much in the same lines as Chamberlain. Good fastball, good breaking ball.
There's a strike.
Oh, didn't get the call.
Oh, did not. Boy, Bruni thought so. I did as well.
And so did Jose Molina. Watch Molina hesitate. That was a little high. He tried to rough off the call by saying, yep, there was a strike.
That one is driven down the left field line, giving Chase's Damon, and that'll make the seats out of play.
Lowry, a switch hitter, has been a better hitter from the right-hand side of the plate. More than 100 points better on the other side.
And the 3-2. Grounded foul. Stays alive. It's 3-0 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Second and third, nobody out for the Red Sox. Chamberlain started the inning. Bruni comes on. The drama in this game involves Mike Messina. He gave the Yankees 6 very strong innings. Left leading 3-0. Looking for his 20th win. He's never done it in his career. It's up to the Yankee bullpen. And the 3-2. Strike 3. Lowry down looking. 1 away.
Lowry didn't get called out on a high strike, but he gets called out on, well, maybe a knee-high strike. This will be a definitive look. Yeah, it was knee-high on the front knee, and that'll be the call. Strike 3 call. Red Sox are going to go to their bench. Chris Carter's going to hit for George Contreras.
Damaso Marte is ready. But it looks as if Girardi is going to stay with Bruni. And the pitch. Fouled off the foot of Carter.
Carter is a first baseman outfielder by trade. Four for 10 in 6 games since being recalled on September 8th. This is second time around with Boston this year.
The 0-1. Weak hack. Kind of a wave in the count 0-2.
Well, Bruni can try and expand, try and make him chase a fastball up, maybe something off the plate. Right now, Bruni's in the driver's seat. And they're going to have a discussion. Make sure everything is that they're on the right page.
Let's get the Met update from Bob Lorenz in our studios. Bob?
Michael, it's all over at Shea. Ryan Church is the tying run at the plate. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Deep drive to right center field. And the ball is caught into the front of the warning track. Marlins win it 4-2. Milwaukee won earlier today 3-1. So Milwaukee begins the NLCS hit series against the Phillies on Wednesday. The Mets, for a second straight year, aren't going to the dance.
Thank you, Bob. There's a ground ball to second base. A run will score. The out is made at first. Runner moves to third. And that will break the shutout as the Yankees now lead 3-1. But they're not worried about the shutout. They're worried about the victory. Boy, you really you have to feel for the Mets, Kenny. 2 years in a row where they had a lead in September and they could not hold on. And extremely painful. They're having a celebration after the game for the closing of Shea Stadium, and now that was the last game ever played at Shea. Well, Joe Girardi is going to go to the bullpen, and he's going to bring on the left-hander to face Jacoby Ellsbury. Runner at third base, 2 outs. Girardi managing this like a World Series game to get Messina his 20th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by WB Mason. For all your office needs, who but WB Mason? Honda. Test drive a 2009 Honda today at your Honda dealer. And by IOTB. Bring you the most free HD you can get anywhere. Do you see an HD? Get HD free with IOTB. Hey, it's starting to rain here in Boston, so what new with that? Rain most of Friday, all day yesterday, most of the morning today, and the start of this game was held up because of rain. But here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. We've been able to play this far in, and there's still a game to go after this one. So Damaso Marte comes on, and he will face Jacoby Ellsbury with a runner at third and 2 men out. So Ellsbury is the tying run at the plate, and in his only career at bat against Marte, he struck out. Chamberlain started the inning. 2 batters he faced reached. Then they brought in Bruni and now Marte. Check swing, but he goes around.
Yeah, right away you can see the advantage for Joe Girardi. This wasn't the case all season long, when the Yankees were working for quite a bit of the season as Mariano warms up without a left-hander in the bullpen. Now they have 2, the luxury of 2, and 2 of them have been pretty effective, both Koch and Marte.
And the 0-1. Strike on the outside corner. Good fastball, 94 miles an hour. And the 0-2 upstairs.
Damaso Marte coming over from Pittsburgh, and the deal with Xavier Nady. So both of them can be factors in this afternoon's ball game.
Stays alive by reaching over the plate and fouling it back. It is 3-1 Yankees. First game of a day-night doubleheader here in Boston. And that's a base hit to left field. A run will score. Ellsbury picks up an RBI single. It's 3-2 Yankees.
Ellsbury had some pretty good swings, and you can see that breaking ball is up around a letter high, and all he has to do is slash at it, line it to left field for a base hit. That's going to close the Yankee lead down to 1.
And they're going to bring in Mariano Rivera, who's had a cranky shoulder And he's going to have to get 4 outs in order to nail down the victory for Messina. It's starting to rain a little bit harder here at Fenway Park as people are putting on their jackets and the Yankees are putting on the Ritz. They bring in their closer, Mariano. Tying runs at first. Stick around. Well, as Mariano warms up to try to get 4 outs, it's time for the Geico play of the game. Call Geico and save 15% or more on your car insurance.
Let's go back to the 4th inning after a couple of walks. The X-Man, Xavier Nady, down the right field line, hits on top of the wall and into the seats for his 12th home run as a Yankee. A 3-run shot, and that is the difference in the ball game right now. It's 3-2, and that's our Geico play of the game.
Well, Mariano Rivera, who's had his right shoulder barking, and they've uncovered some calcification in his shoulder that's caused some tendonitis. It's bothered him all year. He told Kenny that on Friday, and still look at the numbers that he's been able to put up. So this is not a compromised player right now on the mound. This is Mariano Rivera at the same strength he's been all year, and he faces Dustin Pedroia. Now Ellsbury is a threat to steal. We know that.
Leads the league with 50 stolen bases.
Rain coming down a little bit harder here at Fenway Park. Another game to go after this one. Blew it right by Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia against Rivera lifetime is 0 for 4. Mariano has 43 career saves against the Red Sox.
That pitch was up where Pedroia likes it, though. He's a good high ball hitter.
And he saved 48 of Mike Messina's wins. There's that cutter whispering across the outside corner, 0-2.
Yeah, that was nasty. This was much better location than the previous pitch. In fact, Mariano might have got a little bit of help, but that's all right. He'll take it. Maybe he'll just extend just a little bit, see if he can get Pedroia to chase. That was a toss over to first just to let Ellsbury know that Mariano is aware of his presence.
Crowd here at Fenway chanting MVP as Pedroia digs in. He's certainly a candidate. And the 0-2. He swings and misses, and Rivera comes on to strike out Pedroia. But the Red Sox inch closer. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the top of the 9th inning. It's 3-2 Yanks. Hey, tonight on Yes, the Yankees take on the Red Sox in the 2nd game of this day-night Central Admission doubleheader from Fenway Park. Join Ken Singleton and me for our coverage starting tonight at 7:30. Weather permitting, Yankees-Red Sox. It all starts tonight at 7:30 only on Yes. Got another game in you, Kenny?
Oh, most definitely. I love to.
Let's do it. It is coming down pretty hard here at Fenway Park. As we go to the 9th inning, Jonathan Papelbon. 41 saves for Papelbon. 76 strikeouts in 68 in the 3rd innings. He'll face Robinson Cano. And the pitch outside, 1-0.
I have met Ernie Banks, the original Let's Play 2.
Now, you've actually played 2 a couple times on the last day of the season, right?
You know what? I played 4 in the last 2 days.
Really?
When the Yankees were playing over at Shea. We had a doubleheader the day before the season ended.
Boy, is Cano swinging a great bat right now. That puts him over 270. He is 3 for 4.
Almost took Papelbon's foot off. And remember, he got robbed of a hit his previous time up. He would be sitting on a 4 for 4 right now. Instead, it's a 3 for 4 afternoon. Strides, not much of a stride at all, and just hammers the ball back through the middle. think it was 1975. Closed the season out with a doubleheader against the Yankees at Shea Stadium the day before we played 2. But I only played 3 of the 4 games.
Why, Earl liked you?
Not because. Well, wait a minute. I did actually appear in all 4 because the last one. No, I didn't play the second game on the Sunday.
Okay.
Because I got a hit my first time up on the in the first game to hit 300 for the year, and he took me out.
Runner goes. And a perfectly executed hit and run as Ransom hits it through the vacated hole. And the Yankees have runners on the corners now with nobody out.
Cody Ransom now 2 for 3, and they're trying to open a door on Papelbon here in the top of the 9th for some extra insurance runs. There goes Cano off and running. He's already stolen 1 base today, and you can see that the Pedroia drawn out of position with the runner on the move, and it works perfectly. Cody Ransom, yeah, most of his hits have gone to the left side of second base. This one, well, he shows Joe Girardi that he can work to hit and run if need be.
Yankees would like some insurance runs for Rivera, and here is Jose Molina. Now the Red Sox have the infield at double play depth, so they'll give up a run to get the double play. I don't quite get that, Kenny. I mean, you're trailing already.
But you're trailing by 1, and you figured Mo is good enough at guarding a 1-run lead. How about a 2-run? Even if Molina hits into a double play, you would figure Cano would score. But I think the feeling is if you bring the infield in, that opens up for an even bigger inning. So they'll take the 2, give up the 1, as opposed to bringing the infield in. Little looper falls in, then you got to run in. You got runners at first and third again.
I don't know about that, especially as you mentioned with Rivera on the mound.
Yeah.
How many times do you score 1 run against him, let alone 2? So you're giving up that run on a double play. Fly ball right field. Van Every back. That's going to score a run. As Cano will score easily, and the Yankees now lead 4-2.
That was a moot point on the fly ball.
It's going to be very interesting to see, because the start of the game was held up, how they're going to clear out this ballpark and clear out 37,091 fans and then get another 37,000 in here, and they have to clean it. I guess cleaning is not even an option. The people that come in are going to be sitting with peanut shells on the floor. I don't think they have time to clean it, but it's going to be tough because the second game will start at 7:30. There's Brett Gardner.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, as far back as I go, I think the Red Sox are the ones who kind of started the split doubleheader thing here at Fenway Park. The day, one doubleheader, then clean the park out, and then bring another crowd in.
Runner goes. Hit and run was on again, but it's foul back.
You can see Gardner trying to slap that one through the vacated hole at shortstop.
I don't know why they don't have more day-night doubleheaders, Kenny, and this way give the players more days off. This way nobody loses a gate, and the owners still get their 81 gates, and people would get more time off. Because as you said, what is it, 162 games in 180 days.
Okay.
So you have 18 days off the entire season.
It may be one reason they don't do it, because you have season ticket holders, and maybe they won't come to both. Right. Both games in one day.
Runner goes, big jump as Gardner fouls it back.
They tried it again. This time the Red Sox had Pedroia covering, so the hole is open on the right side. And while the tickets might be sold, the seats would be empty.
Right back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So Gardner is 1 for 5 tonight as Ransom moves to second.
The Yankees are roughing up Papelbon a bit here. Gardner with the base hit extends a hitting streak to 9 consecutive games. Solid shot through the legs of Jonathan Papelbon. Hop, skip, and a jump, and the ball's over second base and into center field. 9 games in a row for Brett Gardner. He's had himself a pretty good road trip. He is 1 for 5 today and 9 for 23 on the trip. And by continuing the inning, well, there's only 1 out. Gives the Red Sox fans another chance to boo Johnny Damon.
Rain continues to fall here at Fenway. Johnny's changed the way he bats a little bit. He starts now, Kenny, with that right foot out of the box and then continually moves it forward. Watch, he taps the plate, and then his right foot will be out of the box. And they need a new rosin bag for Pedroia, who fires it off the field. There's not enough rosin there. It's been getting too wet. And he also wants a new baseball. So probably having a tough time gripping the ball. And again, you'll watch Damon with that right foot out. Now you can hardly see
the batter's
back line, but you know where it is. So his back foot is his left foot. So he starts that way, and then he'll be way out. Right there, he starts out and moves forward, and there he goes. Gets in a position.
All you have to do is maintain contact with where the line should be. You know, every once in a while you get a catcher that will make an appeal to the umpire, moving back in the box, and usually it's not so much the right foot on the left hand, it's the left foot that's, you know, back out beyond the boundary line.
It almost looks like he's using this as a more exaggerated triggering device, a timing device, because he's only been doing this the last, I'd say last week, where he really starts out. Let's see if he does it this time. Yes, he's out, now in more, and then fires forward. Papelbon's having a lot of trouble with the mound right now, and the mound is very wet.
Yeah, good stop by Kevin Cash, who is now taking over as the catcher for the Red Sox. Cash was known as a defensive catcher coming up through the Blue Jays organization.
This is why you wonder why they would play 2 games in this sort of slop. People could get hurt. You hurt Papelbon now. Does that gate in the second game really help you? You know what I'm saying, Kenny?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a playoff series. If somebody important gets hurt on a sloppy field, well, the Red Sox could blow a chance at defending their title.
They'll be headed out to Anaheim. Don't have to worry about a sloppy field out there. Have to worry about the Angels.
Yeah, usually the field is nice. (3-1) foul back.
You know, in all the years going out there, I don't think I've ever seen it rain in Anaheim.
I think I did once.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it was recently too, the last couple of years. Because it never rains in California. Runners go, and Damon walks. So the Yankees are leading 4-2, looking for more as Melky Cabrera will come up. And it seems as if Papelbon again wants a new rosin bag. So he's fired 2 rosin bags out of the game. And gets another one from the bat boy. This almost seems like an exaggerated show for Francona, as if, why am I in here?
Well, he's got to get some work in. I mean, Matsuzaka got his work in. He worked a few innings.
Melky fouls it back. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. Yankees are leading 4-2 here in the 9th inning. And they're trying to nail down Mike Mussina's 20th victory of the season. And the 0-1. Popped up, third base side. And Youkilis runs out of room.
You know, Papelbon is known for being very stingy as far as giving up runs are concerned. The most he's ever given up as a reliever are 2 runs in an inning.
He's one away from that.
Yeah. He's going back for the rosin bag. Trying to be like Gaylord Perry. Gaylord used to load up on the rosin, and as he would throw the ball at the plate, you'd see a little puff coming out of his hand. He'd try all kinds of tricks.
And the 0-2. Foul back.
He called that pitch his puff ball. We were talking about Burley Grimes that Mike Mussina is going to tie if the Yankees hold on and win this game. And Grimes was the last pitcher who was allowed to throw the spitball legally because it had been grandfathered. There were several pitchers that threw the spitball, and then they decided to make it an illegal pitch, you know, for sanitary reasons or whatever. All of a sudden, you know, they started turning green back then. And so Grimes was the last one who was allowed to throw it. And what he would actually do, during his windup, he would bring the glove and the ball up to his mouth, and he would expectorate onto the ball and then throw it. Or he wouldn't do it and throw something else. So he had that little hesitation in his windup.
Missed outside, and the count 2-2 to Melky.
He pitched for 7 teams, and I had a feeling that you know, as the spitter became, he started to move around. And of course, there are hitters that would tell you that, you know, variations of that pitch continue to be thrown today.
Two. Tap slowly toward third. They have 1 out. They make it at first. Another run scores, and the Yankees are up 5-2. So an RBI from Melky Cabrera. And the other runners move up.
So Papelbon does give up his second run. And people wonder, what is, you know, you make the ball heavy on one side, the ball is going to dip to that side when you throw it. Whether you put you know, mud or dirt or Vaseline or in the case back when, the spitter.
Mariano has a little bit of an easier knife now with a 3-run bulge. And Alex Rodriguez could make it a bit of a laugher as Rodriguez digs in. Fouled straight back and almost in John Sterling and Susan Waldman's radio booth, but just missed.
That's the booth that it actually went into, and there's some very happy people.
Count 1-1. Second and third with 2 outs. Yankees are up 5-2. And the pitch. Inside 2-1.
I'll tell you one thing, after this game is over, the ground crew is going to have to work on the field again, and they have worked overtime during this series, trying to keep this field playable.
5:35 on the clock. The game now 3 hours old. It started at 2:35, an hour delayed because of rain. And the 2-1. Strike, 2-2. A-Rod grounds one slowly to short. Charging is Lowry. He's not going to make the play. It's a base hit. Another run scores, and the Yankees are up 6-2. A-Rod picks up his 103rd ribby. And this is the first time that Papelbon has ever given up 3 runs in an appearance as a reliever.
And here comes pitching coach John Farrell. For A-Rod, his second hit of the game, his second infield hit of the game. And in this one, he gets a little bonus. It's going to be get himself an RBI out of it.
Alex Rodriguez with his 2 hits is at 302. So if he wants to play in the second game, I doubt they'll use him in the second game. He does not risk dropping under 300. So Farrell has his say with Papelbon, and now that'll bring up Miranda.
It's interesting that Papelbon has a problem in a non-save situation. We've seen Mariano during the course of the year have his problems in non-save situations.
The Yankees win this one. They have 89 victories. And if they could get the one in the nightcap, 90's a nice round number. And so would 270 be. That would be Messina's career number, and 20 is a nice round number for a pitcher. And Messina would be the oldest pitcher to ever win 20 games for the first time. So a lot of things on the line here on this final day of the regular season. Boy, Papelbon really having a lot of trouble with that mound.
I think the rain is lightening up a bit. It's still coming down, but not as heavy as it was a few minutes ago.
A 1-0. There's a strike. Juan Miranda at the plate. You know, the longer the field remains uncovered and the rain continues to fall, then they might claim that the field is unplayable for a second game. But the grounds crew here will do its best to try to get it working. Do a fastball right by him. Papelbon, each pitch will go back to the backside of the mound and rake the mud out of his spikes.
I have a feeling we'll see some of the drying agent thrown on the mound in between innings. Look out.
I wonder if that drying agent works like other agents, just soaking up 5%. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Miranda down on strikes. And Papelbon doesn't know it's the end of the inning. He had no idea. But he gives up 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Last licks coming up for the Sox. Mo on the mound. Well, Jonathan Papelbon threw what I guess you could term a little bit of a hissy fit when he got into the dugout, firing things all over the place, and you could see he was visibly upset while on the mound with the state of the mound and the mud and the spikes. And just take a look at Papelbon's reaction. Everybody's clearing out. They know what's going on here. That was the first one. He'll give you more. There we go.
That was in front of a policeman.
And also you could hurt your foot too. And the policeman said, you know what? This isn't worth it.
I'm going to call for backup.
So now Mariano Rivera needs 3 outs to nail this one down for Mike Messina. David Ortiz digs in. Foul back. Continues to drizzle here now at Fenway Park. Rivera came on to get the final out of the 8th inning.
Well, they didn't go to the drying agent. I guess they feel that if pitchers would complain, then they would do something.
Boy, if Papelbon wasn't complaining, Kenny, I don't know what complaining is. And that's the home team.
He wasn't happy about something. Maybe you were right about just being out there. But I think from Terry Francona's standpoint, what if the second game isn't played and Papelbon doesn't get to work and then goes into a playoff situation without facing hitters?
Rip foul. And Papelbon's day is over. Heads up the runway and goes to the Red Sox clubhouse. And there goes the shirt. He's done. What a happy fellow. The 1-2 missed outside. Grounded to short and bobbled there by Ransom, and Ortiz reaches. It's a tough field right now, and the Red Sox have to deal with it. Now the Yankees are going to have to deal with it.
It's going to go down as an E6. Let's see if we see another erratic hop here. No, that was not an erratic hop. That was a ball that should have been fielded. So Ortiz is going to be safe on what should have been out number 1. Looked like underneath the glove and off the left ankle of Cody Ransom. They want Miranda to play behind Big Papi.
And the pitch to Youkilis is a strike. Now there's going to be a pinch runner for Papi. And it's going to be Jeff Bailey. So Ortiz reaches on the E6 and then departs for Bailey. And the 0-1. Grounded foul. 0-2. A lot of the 37,091 in the crowd have departed, which will make it easier to clear the place and bring the new crowd in. The 468th consecutive sellout for the Red Sox. Foul the other way down the right field line and out of play. And that 37,091 brought their total attendance to 3,048,810. So they go over the 3 million mark. But a lot of people have decided they've seen enough today. And the 0-2. The 0-2. Grounded softly toward third. Charging is Alex Rodriguez. Off balance throw, and they just got Youkilis for the first out as Bailey moves to second.
A-Rod's had a tremendous year playing third base for the Yankees. There's an opportunity for a Gold Glove for A-Rod this year. He's always had the strong arm, and man, he makes a nice play to throw out Youkilis.
Here's Van Every. Took over for J.D. Drew in right. Pitch inside. And the 1-0. Fouled off the foot of Van Every and goes halfway to third.
If I'm not mistaken, I think A-Rod has the best fielding percentage at third base this year. That's another reason why he's got an opportunity to win the Gold Glove. And plus, you might not want to admit it, but sometimes the hitters who are having the best seasons, as far as he's a big time hitter and a good all-around player, that helps you win a Gold Glove.
1-1. Well, he won a couple as a shortstop. Actually won the 2 years previous to becoming a third baseman. Popped up. Cano is there, and he'll put it away. And the Red Sox are down to their final out. And Mike Messina is 1 out away from making history, personal history and major league history. If Rivera could nail down this final out, and he's pitching with a calcification in his shoulder, a cranky shoulder is the way it's been described, and one that might have to be arthroscopically repaired during the offseason. If he can do this, then Mike Messina will become the oldest pitcher to win 20 games for the first time at the age of 39. Here's Jason Bay. Pitch inside. And you wonder what's going through Messina's head. Is this his final game? And the 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. Could this be the last game of Mike Messina's career? That's certainly the prevailing thought. People you talk to that don't want to go on the record. Seems like Messina thinks he's had enough. There's a strike.
If he does pick up 270 today, which it appears very likely, and people say, well, why don't you go for 300? Well, as getting older, it might not be as easy to win 20 next year, or even win 15.
And if you go for 300, Kenny, you might be committing yourself to 3 years.
3-year deal. Yeah.
One strike away. And the 2-2. Did he go? No, he did not. And the count now 3-2.
Yeah, not even an appeal.
He's won 19 2 previous times. He thought this was number 20, but not to be. The 3-2 pitch. Broken back ground ball to Ransom. This should do it. Over to first. The Yankees win 6-2, and Mike Messina wins his 20th game for the first time in his career. At the age of 39, Messina becomes the oldest player in baseball history to win 20 games for the first time. And what a season he's had, Kenny.
Well, he's been the leader of the staff in the absence of Chien-Ming Wang and Andy Pettit being a 500 pitcher this year. When the Yankees needed big wins, Mike Messina was the one to give them big outings, and 20th victory of the season, 20-9. And what a year for Messina. Great ERA, tremendous control. He showed it again today. He left with a shutout going, and the Yankees win 6-2.
Well, in his first 3 starts of the year, Kenny, he was 1-3, 5.75, and following last year, there were whispers that he could be done. Well, coming into this one, his last 29 starts, he was 18-6 with a 3.21, and now that goes down. So he's 19-6 with an under 3.2 ERA in his last 30 starts of the season. Just absolutely outstanding. And in his last 3 starts, he needed 3 wins, and that's exactly what he got. So Mike Messina is usually taciturn, big smiles as he celebrates his 20th victory of the season. First time he's done that in his career. And as you can see, our Kimberly Jones is with Mike Mussina. Kim?
Thank you, Michael. I am with 20-game winner Mike Mussina. How does that sound?
Well, it sounds pretty good, I guess. It's been a long time, and I've been close. The guys played great today. It was a sloppy day, and you know, they went out there and played hard. I know, you know, we wish we'd still be playing next week, and it was a good day. It was a fun day. I got some ground balls when they needed them. You know, the guys played real solid. So far, it's been a fun day.
Were any of those innings, though, you were so economical while you were out there, and then the bullpen did have a little bit of a rough start there?
Well, Phil came in. Cole came in the 7th pitch great. The 8th inning got a little shaky. You know, Jabba walked the first guy, then doubled down the line, and you know, all of a sudden things are taking off. And you know how the Red Sox are; they always have find a way to get some runs late in the game and win a lot of those games. So, you know, Joe told me a couple days ago he'd have everybody ready, and I guess that means mowing the 8th to, you know, to hold it to a 3-2 lead. And then we came out with Papelbon pitching, and it rained pretty good, and we put some more runs on the board, and that was really big.
Given any other circumstance, Mariano probably would have been shut down. Does it mean something to you that it meant something to him to say? Yeah,
you know, we've been playing together for quite a while here, and I know he's not feeling 100%, but you know, he's still throwing the ball great, and I'm glad he came back from New York to pitch this game. So I got to thank everybody in the field, all the relievers that have been up all year, everybody.
Let's get to you for a second. To be the oldest pitcher in history to be a first-time 20-game winner, that's got to be gratifying, Mike, given how many times you've been counted out.
No, it took me a long time to get to something like this, and I've been close a couple times, but it was quite a few years ago, and last year was no fun at all, even though we went to the postseason, and to come back this year and from the beginning wondering if I was going to have a job, on the last day of the season be able to be a 20-game winner is pretty fun.
Is this it, Mike?
Is this it?
Is this the last time we're going to see you on a mound?
You know, I don't know. I really don't know. We got to get away from him a little bit and see what our options are. If it is, it's kind of a nice way to go.
It is indeed. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Michael.
Thanks a lot, Kim. Congratulations indeed to Mike Mussina, who had an MVP-type season. So 20 wins for Mike Mussina. That says it all. He's been looking for that his entire career. And you could argue it's a Hall of Fame career. 270 wins. He's tied with Burley Grimes on the all-time list. And now he has 20 in a season that's been a renaissance for him. We have the award, and also we'll get you set for the postgame. Stick around. It is time to announce the Chevy Player of the Game. This one's not tough. Voted on by you, the fans, and the two of us here in the booth. No mystery, Kenny.
And not at all, Michael. Down to his last opportunity to win number 20 in a season in his career, and Mike Mussina didn't disappoint. Went 6 strong innings, didn't allow a run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, only walked a couple, which is usually one over the limit for him. But Mike Mussina is our Chevy Player of the Game. Got some defensive help. The Yankees turned a couple of double plays behind him. The Moose is now a 20-game winner, 20-9 on the season.
And he's a happy Moose today as he wins his 20th, as Kenny mentioned. 6-10-1 for the Yankees, 2-5-0 for the Boston Red Sox. Mussina 20-9. Matsuzaka, his 3rd loss of the year, 18-3. Rivera, his 39th save, 49th save for Mike Mussina in his career. Time of the game, 3:16. And Nady, he gave the Yankees a cushion they needed. A 3-run home run in the 4th inning off Matsuzaka. A 2-for-4 day for Xavier Nady. A lot of hugs for Mike Mussina. If this was his last game in the big leagues, as he mentioned, a nice way to go out. We'll be back.